saucification on a Wednesday night. Welcome to the show. It's Outlaw Radio. Black enough on a Wednesday night, man. Hump Day edition. Colder than a polar bear's toenail outside. We thought it was slick. We thought it was sweet, but it wasn't. But you know, God does what he does. I'm not alone tonight, right? As usual, my name is Kevin Barnes. I am the mayor of Chocolate City, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, man. I'm having a hard time remembering who I am. But like I said, I'm not alone. I got my partner here with me. Mr. Carter, what it do, what it do?
Hey, life is what it do, y'all. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio. We talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you I am the black woman lover. I'm the black man's brother. I'm the culture teacher. I'm the hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm all y'all holistic health and wellness coach, Kamar Carter. Peace to the family. I'm also the one who brings you Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements. You can find that on Facebook, Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements. Or you can go to my health page, Healthy Self, Heal Thyself, and ask somebody about me. And they're going to point you in my direction. Go to my page, Kamar Carter, inbox me, and I'm going to tell you how to get your Nature Nature Herbs and Supplements. That's what it do, family. All at the kid.
Yeah, man. If we don't do nothing else, we support black business. That's one of the reasons that we love to do what we do, because we can support other people. Solidarity is everything. We said we got a light-skinned Levert in the building. Is you Gerald? Who are you? Which one are you? What's your name?
Eddie. I'm gonna be Eddie. No, I'm just
you Big Eddie. Big Eddie.
Nah, I'll be Gerald.
Okay. Gerald growling on the song.
He did, man. He's
right, like
man.
Man, I could go on and on about the stories of women growing up when they say you look like Gerald Levert. Okay, it's a whole different life. Welcome to the show, Real. Welcome to the show. Shout out to Alicia Muller. She's in the chat room early. Phone number 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. Normally on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. People say, how do I see the show? Just click on the link. People say, I didn't get my notification this week. All right. Well, I don't control the algorithm or whatnot, what have you. But, if you know what time the show is on and you know where my Facebook page is, just check for us, because we're usually on here doing what we do, man. And it's all kinds of different things. Like, people ask me all the time, like, what is this show? What is this show about? Well, let me tell you, this show is about everything, right? That's what it's about.
What ain't it about?
That's right. The show is about everything.
What don't we talk about?
We said
we go with this shit?
They said Seinfeld was the show about nothing.
Right.
Outlaw Radio is the show about everything.
Everything, right?
Especially if you black.
Everything.
There's really no limits. There's no limits. There's no limits to what we as a people, what we want to talk about. That, like, those conversations don't have barriers on here. It can go from spirituality and religion to, we got a show where somebody just started talking about booty, and I don't know what happened. For like 20 minutes, that was like, and I couldn't get it right. Because you can't control everything. Nobody can control everything.
I sum it up to people. I just tell them we talk about everything black. Right. Our point of view, you know what I mean, and our place in it.
Yeah, man. And I don't like to say it's a podcast, because I really think of this as a premium news network, right? Like, where you tune in and you want to hear, because it's cool to talk about the willy-nilly and the bullshit and the entertainment but sometimes I think real live issues that are pertinent to people of color, in particular foundational Black Americans, should be discussed, and there should be a safe place to do that. And this is that place. The show where you're always right, because 9 times out of 10 you're giving us your opinion. Right. So the opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said it. Just know who to be mad at. That's all we ask. That's like the only rule we have. Like, hey, man, you mad at the wrong motherfucker. He didn't say it. He said it. Chat room popping, man. You right, Alicia. She said you got to be in it to win it. Like Lotto. EP said like Lotto. Dion, what it do? He said, let me in this motherfucker. Dion. What up, black man? How you doing,
Yeah,
my
you
brother?
in here.
My sister Sharon Evans, she said, what's going on, Outlaws? Power to the people, right? On the verge of 420, however you choose to celebrate that. But yeah, man, Outlaw Radio, man, black enough. And sometimes I just think about what angle to come from, because there's so many different pathways. We start talking about conversation and I like and communication, and I think a lot of people kind of miss the point that there's different platforms because everybody comes from a different kind of direction or perspective, right? And as someone who lives in the podverse such as myself, it's just cool to sit back and hear all the different perspectives before I make mine. And so I realize on this show we throw this word around: black, 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 right? And I often say to myself, well, what do that really mean? I know what it means to me, right? I know what it encapsulates for me. And I look at this thing as a whole kind of big, like, supernatural force, because there's the historical perspective, there's the present day perspective, and then there's the outlook for the future. And that's a different perspective, right? Whether or not some people don't think ahead of themselves, some people are just ahead of their time. And so there's different perspectives. That's all I'm trying to say. Dion says, don't start that 420 BS, Kev. That's Hitler's birthday. Well, it might be, but it's also a day designated for uh marijuana and
Hey,
people.
originally, it's like, if I remember, like back when I used to read them High Times magazines back in the 90s, they used to always just talk about the time 420, the time of day.
Okay.
Like, hey, it's 420, light up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would actually have pictures of people with a clock, 420, and they smoking, you know what I mean?
Right.
Pictures in the magazine and shit.
Well, it's one of those designations that we talk about, Kamar. Well, it's like, it's designated for that. So why not honor it for that? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you a weed smoker, you say it's 420. If you a white supremacist, you say, well, Heil Hitler, it's his birthday. Either way, both of y'all gonna end up getting high. Right? Like so. Right. Mein Kampf. Right? Type shit. See, that's how Outlaw Radio can just get all over the place, right? Like Hitler, weed, 420. It's all in the game, man. But
Hitler weed. That should be a strain right there.
Right.
Hitler weed.
Have room on deck, man. Y'all get this.
Hey, that's that killer.
Literally, right? That's crazy.
That's where the term gas comes from.
Do it.
Hey,
right.
That was the real gas. Oh, that's a bad joke.
Right. That was a good one, Kim. What you talking about?
Somebody gonna turn that into a strain now, and that's gonna be their slogan.
That got that Nazi gas. Goddamn. Hold up. Pimp C say, hold up, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna give me a t-shirt that says WWCD, which say, what would Chad do? Right? I want people to say, what would Pimp C do if this was happening?
I need that.
Right. What would Pimp C do? Right, we're gonna get that. She said you're gonna lose your license. Right, I got a license to ill, as the Beastie Boys said. You can't take that from me. It's called freedom of speech. But yeah, man, black enough, man. I look. First of all, let me say I'm a very proud man of color, and I take the good with the bad. Right, like there's some shit about us that I'm absolutely glowing with pride about. Like that's us right there. And then there's some shit that I say, that's fucked up with us right there. Like that's fucked up for us. And so, what it means to me, what it means to you, because is this something that's even something that you can compromise? But then one man's compromise is another man's, survival. So it's just different ways to talk about it. I see you, Crystal Ship, in the building. She said Control C. LLC in the building. How you doing, my sister? Welcome to the show. I saw y'all glammed up for y'all event. My sister had on her dress. She said, I'm wearing a dress tonight. I see you on Facebook. She said, and she did. She had on a dress. All the sisters look good, man, in their gowns. It was a good look for y'all. But so yeah, man, we're gonna talk about that a little bit tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. In the country, in the city. So we're gonna get into all of that, man. But I gotta ask my brothers, man, how y'all doing this evening, man? Y'all all right? Kamar, you all right? I see you got your Versace on. How you doing?
Hey man, you know what I'm talking about, man. You know my comedic Versace.
Right.
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Kamar's man. You have changed the game, man. Because I seen you come from just man. I'm just trying to get this bag of sea moss off to like you
And
got
I
reels and
changed
shit.
my game.
Yeah, well, you changed the game because a motherfucker who come up with how you did, especially from our era. It's like we sit back a lot of times and we don't do certain things because we be like, man, well, I'm an old man and I ain't, that's for them young folks and I ain't. But when you get into it and you say, no, I'm gonna learn how to do this shit. I'm gonna learn how to pimp Facebook. I'm gonna learn how to pimp Instagram. It's only gonna bring me more money and
Yeah,
increase my brand, the reach of my brand. So I just give you credit for that. That's all. Because I was
man.
there when you started, and I know it didn't look nothing like this.
Thanks, man.
No, it's no doubt, man. No doubt. I give credit where
I
credit's
appreciate
due.
it.
Shout out to my brother Daryl Burns. If you know Daryl Burns, you know Daryl Burns. He was a principal here for a long time, a great principal actually. And so I had, Facebook gives you your memories, right? And one of the memories was my very first logo. And I should have saved it just so I could present it, show it on the show, but I didn't. It's on my timeline. The very first logo, because the original name of what I did with internet radio and blog talk was Chocolate City, City, right? And just jumping in, and I didn't realize it was 9 years ago now, right? Because I always say we've been at this about 6, 7 years. I've been actually at this for 9 years, right? Like so,
Yeah.
and it's gone through so many different changes and stages. It's unbelievable. But shout out to Daryl Burns. I'm saying all this to say, it was my first logo, and I remember I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Shit wasn't popping like it is now, and I'm like I was talking about Kamar saying I got to learn how to do this shit because I didn't know nothing about Facebook. I didn't have a Facebook
Hey,
page or Twitter or nothing.
hey, it's weird that you saying that, man. Cause see, look, you came. I told you, like I used to talk about this. Like in my journey, you came at the right time. Remember, I had that podcast I was struggling with by myself, and then me and
Absolutely,
you chopped it up that one night, man, and we created a podcast that me and you start doing. So that was the
the
perfect time.
Warrior Report.
That was yep, the Warrior Report. That was the perfect timing for me because I was able to get a chance to get comfortable. I was able to get a chance to watch somebody do this who know what they doing. You know what
Right.
I mean? I was doing it. I'm just winging it. I'm just talking. It's just a punk ass conversation and shit. You know what I'm saying? But this here was a podcast, and I used to tell you back then. I was like, Kev, I like doing this one better than the one
Yeah.
I was doing over there.
Yeah. You did. You did.
You
And
know
it
what
was
I'm saying? And you was like, why? But why? I was like, dog, it's just better.
because you was in a radio station. He was in WNOV. I was in my basement. So I'm like, why
Right.
are you like what? You at WNOV? Like what you talking about? Oh, but
You know
I
what
mean
I'm saying?
the
But I'm like,
crazy
in this one, I get to be myself more. You know what I mean? Like I ain't the one that want to be on the mic so much. You know what I'm saying? And I'm better. It's better off in this spot. I feel more comfortable. You hold the mic down, and I add in with my add ins, and now we had Jason back then. He did his thing, and you know what I mean. Now we got Real, and you know what I mean. And everybody still they own pieces. You know what I'm
right,
saying to the
right.
puzzle that fit. You dig what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was like I'm just my bad, but I got far off the subject. But
It's
I
it's
was
cool.
giving you,
It's cool.
I
It's
was giving
cool.
you your props. You know what I mean for being there for me. You know what I mean at the right time, and that's just how journeys work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? People
Mhm.
come into each other's lives at the right time, and then we help each other. And you know what I mean? We help each other develop when the friendships are real friendships. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like I can use you and you can use me, but we can't misuse each other. You dig
There
what
you
I'm
go.
saying?
I
And
like
in the
that.
right types of friendships, you know what I mean? We building on each other. You know what I mean? And it's at a point too where you know what I mean. We both learning this other marketing side together, this digital marketing shit. You know what I
Well, it's
mean?
different now, though. It's different now because at that point it was still kind of fledgling. It was just kind of starting. Now it's full blown. Now it's a whole because it wasn't all this monetization and all that shit. It wasn't that then at all. It was
Right.
It was his infantile, and that's what I was saying. That when I seen I remember looking at this logo because, this is why I want to get Daryl Burns. So I shout out to you, and I appreciate what you said. But I don't want to forget my brother because
Right.
he's a principal. Like I said, he was a principal at the time, but his wife and my wife they went to the same church, so we were cool. We knew each other, and I had been in MPS, and so he'd see me around, I'd see him around. We kind of knew each other. And I told him, I said, man, I'm trying to do this little internet radio show and I need a logo. And he's like, well, no problem. Just come by my house. So I went, to his crib. Man, this dude came out the box and gave me the dope. Go look at the logo. This shit is dope, right? And I was like, blown away. Like, damn. And he was like, well, I know what you're trying to do. I get what you're trying to do. I see how you describing what you want to do. So I'm just going to give you this. I think he told me to give him like $1 or something. And like, so I ended up doing it. And then when I put the post up today, he said, see, and now you done blew up. Humble beginnings. I said, well, I don't know about blow up. I'm still working, brother. But I just thanked him for just how he, looked out. And so we kind of connected over that. But it's all in the game, man. It's a process. It's a journey. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about Kamara is, as we were doing this over the years, it looked like, yeah, well, he know what he's doing, he holding it down, but I was learning just as much as them. I was just processing it in a different way because I had a different job to do. In particular, when we did it live, really live from the crib, and I had like 2 cameras and a computer, 2 computers and a laptop and wires, and shit was mad crazy, right? And so I had to know how to work all this, like singing and playing the piano at the same time. In addition, I had my co-host here with me. We'd have guests. Plenty of people that have been in this studio down here, man. So I just wanted to say that because I just want people to understand sometimes when you want to do something, you can't worry about likes. You can't worry about people telling you, yeah, that's smart, or because I swear people would just look at me like I was crazy. Be like, you what? Like how what? Like how do I listen to it? Like what? That's crazy. And it wasn't even visual at all. The visual part came later, which is another thing I had to do to transition to incorporate cameras and lighting and all kinds of stuff, man. So, this ain't no 45. This a whole album, as they say. Right. So, but yeah, let's get to business. Enough emotional bullshit about me, right? Like fuck me, right? Who cares? But yeah, man, Black Enough. I do want to start though, because it's controversial video that you see, and since his brother's here on the show, because we're gonna talk about what y'all think blackness is, but you see the substitute teacher fighting the young sister in the classroom. Have y'all seen this footage? Okay.
Now so I see the still of it. I haven't seen the video of it. I just see like her cheeks was out.
Men are disgusting. We are some nasty motherfuckers, right? Like most men who watch this footage, and that's where I was going. That's where I was going, Rail. Is that this is a
I watch it for that. I don't want to see no kid get their ass whooped, but
I seen it and I watched it not knowing it was cheekage involved, right? When I first did, it says 14-year-old fights teacher, right? And so this woman is not a little girl. She's not a little thin, wiry. She's a cornbread fed, like real big sister. She looked like she played linebacker. But when they start fighting, all of a sudden up goes her skirt, and it's like, men are like, oh, like nobody even cares that it's a little 14-year-old girl getting.
Hey, that's the kind of fight men want to see. Like that's why we look at them, right? That's the fight men look.
And you're expecting to see the comments be, oh, that polar girl, or oh man, that's crazy. Cat's brothers is on there like, damn, she was thick, and all this was like, is that a thong? Like, I'm like, dude, men like got tunnel vision, man. It's crazy. Hey. Now, once again, though, but it exposes another issue, because you have kids who don't understand boundaries, and she actually swung off on this lady first, whatever, what have you. I still would say, if you can, with any young person, avoid this kind of thing at all costs. When I was a substitute teacher for Milwaukee Public Schools, and back then they said, well, you won't be a substitute, you'll be a regular teacher because we have a teacher shortage. So I was fast-tracked teacher's license in the classroom teaching school. And I had a situation in North Division where I had a young man really try to test me. Now, at this time, I must have been about 23 years old, right? And he was probably about 16, 17. I had to put the foo fops on him. And it was I regretted it because he's young.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't get to do that to me, right? So I did. So this happens more often than you think in school where students attack teachers. And I've seen some teachers come out the box and put the foop down, but I've seen some teachers get stomped too. Like, damn. Fuck this job. I ain't going with that. So I don't know. If y'all didn't see the video, it's kind of I want y'all to see the video because
I saw the video.
You saw
the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like under no circumstances a child should be putting their hands on a teacher.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless they're defending themselves from said teacher. You dig what I'm saying? But it should have never came to that. Like it's a certain point of respect a child is supposed to have where they know just sit down and shut the fuck up. Or go to the office.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One or the other. It's a certain level of respect. You know what I mean? This is a grown person. Teacher, no teacher, whatever it is, it's a grown person.
So this is over a cell phone, which was supposedly the start of it, allegedly, right? And once again, I think the mistake that's made here is even when what I did, the episode I just told you about with myself, when I say put the foo fops, I mean I just locked him up.
Right.
If I'd have put hands on him, he would have been really hurt. I basically just subdued him, right? And when I worked at St. Charles, we worked with kids with intensive behavior issues, so they taught us MAB, managing aggressive behavior. And the goal was always to restrain, not to defeat. You feel me? Like to restrain the kids. So if anything with what the little girl did, and at the end, she did have her down and just kind of had her smothered on the ground, but I just feel like
it don't look like she slammed her to the ground, though. It didn't look like she really slammed her to the ground. It kind of looked like she fell with her.
They both fell.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't look like she slammed her to the ground to me, though.
Yeah, man. Chat room popping.
I'm watching it now, looking at them cheeks.
Right. See, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna challenge. I thought neither one of you had seen it. I was gonna challenge both of y'all to see it and then come back and say, I didn't even notice the cheeks. I just saw the fight. Right? It's just like
the cheeks out there.
My goodness, it is moons over Miami. Like, what's going on? Sharon Evans said, I'm looking forward to the wellness retreat. She said, I like that, Kamar. She said she likes what you said. Friends can use each other, but not misuse each other. Once again, friends can use each other, but not misuse each other.
Hey, like you can meet me and then just tell me what you need from me. And ask me what I need from you. You know what I'm saying? If that's if it's just something that I can help you with. You know what I mean? Let's figure out how we can help each other. It gotta be something. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. But okay, so Sean Moore, he said, why always come in on the freaky parts of shit? She playing that shit, and that's why I was being filmed. Nah, son, that's not, this is a real altercation. But I guess the whole thing is that I would ask the sister is why, if you're going to work with some kids, why you know what I mean? Why you come like that though? Like, why you should have like some big granny panties on or something. Like
she had a dress on. She ain't think she was about to be throwing.
She ain't expecting to be fighting nobody's child either.
That's true.
She should be able to go to work and not get swung.
Right. She playing up.
But you know what?
To the side on lunch.
Men, we so nasty and short sighted. It wouldn't have mattered if she had some bloomers on. We would still be like, damn, she was thick, cuz. Like nothing mattered once the dress went up. Men don't even want to talk about the issue. They say, I don't give a fuck who got their ass whooped. Damn, she was thick. That's the first thing arrested. She was thick.
I heard she was strapped, but no, I just seen it. But I seen like all kinds of commentary and posts about it before I even just watched the video, and they were showing like where they were saying that she did tell other students like, "Hey, y'all, film this. I'm about to check the teacher," type shit.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
and then they even posted her comment when she was saying, "Y'all just watched her fight me and didn't even jump in it to help. Y'all just stood there recording or some shit like that. Like y'all
Yeah,
some
Daddy,
lame."
why you
It's a
standing there letting
fact.
her do the shit?
It's a fact that a lot of these young kids is disrespectful as fuck. You
They
know
are.
what I mean?
They
Like
are.
they done got disrespectful with me twice. Like once in Woodman's Line, the little girl at the checkout counter. Once at the Pick and Safe at Midtown, the little mean ass girl at the checkout counter. Like they just rude and disrespectful as fuck, man.
Yeah, it's just a whole different. I was just telling my lady, it's a whole different breed of motherfuckers out here. Like
Yeah.
now when I get rang up, they having whole FaceTime conversations and eating while they ringing me up, and
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, my parents always drilled in me job credibility. Like that's why, like even though I got tattoos, because of my parents, I always stay mindful to not get any below the elbow or above the collar line. You know, just shit like that. But now you might have a manager that got face tats, so it don't even matter.
Right.
But
Right.
but back in the day, we were taught professionalism and job credibility, and they not taught shit today except how to do TikTok trends.
Well,
Wow.
a lot of them getting talking people just don't give a fuck. They get around their friends and do like their friends.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
so,
They know
yeah.
better. They just doing what they peer pressure. You know what I mean? You know how that be too when you young.
Right.
Shout out to Mama Jenkins. She said, "Good evening, Outlaw family. How you
Peace,
doing, Mama
peace.
Jenkins? Welcome to the
Peace.
show." John Moore said that's a great lesson for him. I see you, brother Shay. I see you. He said his brother Shay and Kruma. Shout out to you and Shabaka. Shabaka's Black Experience enhanced. Sean said she got pulled to the ground. Okay. Dion said that killing part about it is if a white officer whooped the kid's ass, we all be pissed. Yeah, but if it was a thick white woman with a big booty, I think brothers would still say, "Damn, she was thick." Like I'm just, and I'm looking at the comments and stuff like that, and it's actually a meme now. Like it's already
Oh, it
meme.
is?
It's already meme. It's already meme.
Yeah, it was bound to happen.
Yeah, it said make me want to take up astrology and the planets. Okay.
Yeah, I got
I
you if
seen
you
her
need
little.
any
He said he seen
tips.
her comments, and you're right. She planned it. Well, it backfired on her. Shout out, damn, it backfired.
You see, and it's fucked up because you know what I mean. You got people out here trying to defend that little girl, and she probably done started this shit.
Yeah, right. She thought it was gonna go one way. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Yeah.
Aaron Evans said maybe the teacher had plans after work. Obviously,
Right.
she did.
You're
I
right.
mean,
I'm telling you,
you know,
or
she
lunch.
was finna hit the club afterwards. Like, girl, I got my thong on. Okay, I guess. Sean Moore said I would call in, but you got this thing about hanging up on me. Sean, actually, it's not that. It's mostly that when somebody calls in, I only can answer one phone call at a time. So I usually answer the phone, and if you don't hold on, why am I explaining myself? It doesn't matter. Nobody's hanging up on you. He said, "Stop questioning me. I do my research." I'm just saying. Sharon Evans says disrespect is at an all-time high. Mama Jenkins said my sister and brothers were educators, and my brother had to stop teaching back in the day at Steuben because one of those little badasses called him a motherfucker because he said he couldn't sit in his class without a book. MPS needs better guidelines. But what about the parents stuff?
Right.
And the motherfucker brought my food and had a fucking map on his face, almost scared the shit out of me. Yeah, these face tats is out of control. Said Sharon Evans said the system coddles the kids and their behavior.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it when everybody's kind of putting their input into, the conversation, man. I'll keep it
that's
coming.
that shit where they be
Left
talking
behind.
about how you can't whoop your kids and shit. Like we grew up getting our ass whooped. We had respect for our elders.
Yeah, you ass whooping.
It's the difference. You know what I mean? It's something to that. You know what I mean? But I ain't saying we need to whoop our kids, but we got to figure something out. Shit.
Well, yeah, that's the point, Kamars, that something has to be done. And that was like the big point of the video, but because of the cheekage, it went left, right? Like now it's way less impactful had it been if the cheeks never appeared, even if they just had them blurred out. But these are just in full bloom, and everybody was saying, damn. Brother stopped watching the fight. Just like, damn. He said he didn't see the video. This is Dion. He said, I seen that video with them fighting at the courthouse downtown. I posted an older video where they were fighting in the courthouse because there was an accusation that somebody had put a baby in some boiling hot water and abused it. And so it was just a wild fight video. And that's why I steer clear of fight videos. Because it was a wild video and I put it in there and I think people thought it just happened. But it was from 2017. So that's what Dion's talking about. Mama Jenkins said, I live in Midtown, but I don't do pick and save at all. If I did, I would have a felony for real. Those cashiers over there will make you catch a case.
Straight up.
I don't know. I don't know if and see, I'm so old. I don't know if y'all remember Spartan Department Store. Bro, I know this is before your time, but back in the days, in the hood, it's a warehouse now, next to Octopus Car Wash. It used to be a department store called Spartan, right? And it was like a big department store where people used to go. And when I was a little kid, I went in there, man. The cashier threw my mother's change. And my mother slapped the shit out of her. Like it was like a younger girl, like at the register. And so I don't know like what the whole, because I was little. And I remember her just throwing my mother's change. And my mother's like, bitch, what's wrong with you? Like type shit. And then
that was a big deal back then.
Mom just took off on her. Schwap! And right, the funniest part of this story, right, is my mother realizes after she slapped her, like, damn, I got my little 6-7-year-old kid with me. So she tries to rush me to the car, and the security guards grab her. Like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? And really, I'm the only reason that she got off, because she had me with her, and I was just kind of sitting there, and it came in. I think she may have gotten a ticket. Times have changed. I wouldn't encourage anybody to do that now. But I do remember that the shit was crazy. Like it was a long, like 3 hours.
Like we even learned about putting the money. Don't put the money on the counter to the cashier.
Put it in their hand.
Put it in their hand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like that was a big thing. Like you throw the money down on the, you know what I mean? Like, oh no, you out of order.
And she just kind of threw it too. It's
a respect thing.
Just like wow. My mom was like, oh no, she didn't. Wow, it was crazy. The 70s was a wild time, man. Crazy.
Hey, look, and that's why kids knew, or young motherfuckers knew back then, don't do that shit, because that shit will happen.
Yeah, you wanna be a grown up. I'm gonna treat you like one.
Yeah.
Sharon Evans said, I'm stuck on the cheeks. It's not me. What did Rail say when he watched it? He had never seen it. What's first he said? She thick. Right? It's not me. I'm just saying the cheeks became center stage. That's what the whole dust up on the internet was about. It's like, no, y'all missing the whole point. Sean Mo, what it do, man?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Dr. Carter, that's real. What's the word?
We chilling,
man. Chilling.
Yeah, man. I want to comment on the video.
Okay.
The young woman getting her ass whipped by the teacher. You know?
Okay.
I'll fuck a kid up, KB. I'll fuck a kid up, man. You got to catch them early. Catch them when they crawling. Hit them in their throat. Teach them. Don't fuck with me. Fuck them right up. Nah.
Hey, know who to be mad at, right? Like, fuck them kids.
No, seriously, man. You know, the little sister out of order, man. I would have did the same motherfucking thing. You know, from what I've learned, the teacher took everybody's phone. And she the one who wanted to act ass, wanted to get a reputation, and she got one for being smothered, because she almost killed the little wank. So, yeah, you know.
Yeah, so, but Sean, you got to even admit, though, the goal of this, and you've worked with young people before, so you know when you work with youngsters, you have to manage the situation, and it should be more about restraint. I'm not finna just put the full thingage on you. I'm gonna get you locked up, right? And I'm gonna hold you, and I'm gonna be like, man,
but she didn't really go at her like that, man. She was on some restrained shit. The little girl was trying to swing at her.
Okay.
Yeah, she was trying to diffuse the situation, but you know, man, and working with these kids, I understand level of patience that you have to have. But I was also one of them kids that grew up with teachers that whooped that ass, right? And would send you home so that you could get another ass whoop, because you knew that you weren't supposed to go to school to do nothing but learn.
Yeah.
If you want to play, you wait for motherfucking recess, or Miss O'Neill and Miss Justice would tear that ass up.
Well, see, now, and I went to school when that was outlawed, because God forbid a teacher would have hit me. My mother would have probably blew the school building up. But check this out, though. Even then, though, we would clown. You talk shit to a teacher, but you really don't. I can't recollect any incidents where somebody beat up the student. I mean, beat up the teacher. I don't recall a time that. And I went to, especially when I went to Bell Middle School, with the whole ghetto on the bus, right? And then we was all out there. I never seen nobody beat a teacher up. I seen somebody curse a teacher out. I've seen them, throw a chair or turn a desk over. I ain't never seen nobody just put full bloomage on the teacher. Like I'm about to whoop your ass. So,
that's abnormal, man.
Right, it's
that's
abnormal
behavior.
Yeah.
So the abnormal behavior gets abnormal results, and hopefully the next time you get in a situation, the results will turn out normal, right?
Right.
You can walk away from it unscathed, and you learn the lesson. This right here, okay, you walked away, you learned the lesson, your pride is hurt, but guess what? You wake up tomorrow morning and try it again. Learn from this shit. Don't take the little badass back up there trying another substitute teacher.
Hey, kid. Hey, yo, this ain't no different. Yeah. This ain't no different than like when we was coming up. If you talk slick to one of the older men and they put them grown man hands on you, you learn your motherfucking lesson.
Hey, real talk.
Absolutely. And that was one of the things my father would say is, listen, you don't try to talk shit to no grown man. You come get me, because you disrespect the grown man, he'll treat your ass. And I just even remember my homie, man, rest in peace to Fat Man.
I gotta take this car. I'll be right back.
And Trail, man. Rest in peace to Fat Man and Trail. Both of them, and Big Larry. And this was a father in our neighborhood who, wasn't no punk. He was old school, right? And my cousin is a world-class shit talker, man. And he didn't give a fuck. Like he'd pop off. And he popped off to Larry, and Larry slapped the shit out. He slapped. It was one of them slaps so hard where he busted his lip. Like he came and he was popping like I'm a kill dude, and all this kind of shit. And people just told the story like, man, he basically told them, he had a shop, so they were standing on the corner. He said, get off the corner. I don't have no kids standing around my shit like this. Y'all go ahead. Y'all can't be hanging out right here. Hey, my cousin, fuck you, man. And Larry's what? And bow. Before he even knew it. So he got the grown man hands, right? This is one of them old school mechanic brothers, right? With the big wrench turning hands.
And after that, you learn to respect the next old man that tell you, hey man, freeze that, young man.
Hey, he definitely learned to respect Larry.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we used to walk. My cousin was plotting for weeks. Like, man, I'm gonna kill Big Larry. And everybody's like, man, sit your ass down. You ain't finna do shit to Larry. You go up there, he might fuck around, shoot your ass next time. So, but like you say, Kamar, he did learn a lesson. It was like, damn, won't be doing that no more.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta get tough love, man.
Man, it was so funny though when he came down. One of them hood stories where you sitting on your porch, not doing nothing and shit, drinking a cup of Kool-Aid, kicking back, and you see your homeboy coming. And then when he get to you and he move his hand, his lip is out here, and wow, damn, what happened to you? Look, Larry hit me in my mouth, man. It's crazy, man. Oh, the hood stories. Sharon Evans said I would have put the chokehold on too. Happy drawers and all. Happy hour draws. I'm gonna leave that alone, man, because I don't want even my wife to be thinking, damn, you really preoccupied with these ass cheeks, right? Nah, man. It was viral. That's why but I was looking at it from the perspective of I was looking at it from the perspective of students attacking teachers, right? And
you looking at no ass cheeks. No,
I definitely was not ready. I definitely was not ready.
I mean, the issue though is, I think back then, because adults conducted themselves as adults, there was a separation between children and adults, and children were taught to stay in a child's place.
Okay.
Now you have adults trying to be kids, trying to do the latest trend dances. Like grandmamas don't even want to be called grandma no more. Now they grandma or Gigi or shit like that. So because the adults have stepped off of their position, a lot of these kids feel like they don't deserve the respect because they're not holding the adult position for respect.
I gotta, as crass as it was when Sean said it, I kind of gotta go with him. Like I feel like you have to catch these kids early. Like you have to show them when
That's
they're
how we learn. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
That's just
you
that's
got
the
to
way
build
the animal
a
kingdom.
you got to build a foundation with them. You got to
Right.
let them know early. Like, listen,
look at the pride of lion.
parameters over here. So you
There
got to do it
has
early.
to be there has to be some form of some concept of punishment and consequence put in place early, man. That's just a part of learning. It's just with the hot stove, right? Use that as an example. A child learns that it's hot by touching that motherfucker, and they don't want to touch it no more because that shit hurts.
Where was you at with it, Kamar?
I said it's just the way of nature, man. That's how animals do it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pride of lions. You know what I mean? The king, he tell us to put the kids in their place. You know what I mean? Stay in your place. You know what I mean? And you look at dogs.
Man.
You know, look at dogs. Dogs put puppies. They put the young in their place.
Right. Get over there.
Sometimes it get hard like that if they don't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Think about it. We can teach pigeons to push buttons to get rewards, right? But we can't teach our kids to act civil. Bullshit.
Well, it says a lot about us, right? Because our kids are a reflection of us, honestly. Like in most cases. Now, I do understand that our family structure is so compromised that there's not the functionality of families. We find that's missing in a lot of homes. Yeah, you got a bunch of motherfuckers living in the same house, but they're not functioning like a family. Meaning the parents ain't parenting, so the kids ain't kidding, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't deny that. I don't deny that at all. I just feel like it's a reflection on us, and we always say these kids out of order, but we got to start saying, well, why are they so out of order?
Exactly.
Caller, is this Shine on a different phone? I don't know. You having problems?
No, this is actually Sharon Evans calling in for the first time.
Oh, how you doing, my sister? I thought
Outlaws?
Good
Shine
evening.
pushes up on me sometimes, so I gotta watch Shine. He'll call me from a different number. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am doing very well. Splendid, as they say.
Yes. I just want to call in because, I worked for MPS for like 20 years as a teacher assistant. And this is the reason, not so much because of the children's behavior was the reason I left, but it was more so the system itself. This is why I'm so down on the system, because the system allows just like kids free will with their behavior. And I can kind of understand it in some ways, as long as it's, like a positive builder. If kids are doing constructive things with their, behavior, or, being outspoken, I think, because that's the way I raised my daughter, is to be outspoken. But at the same time, never be disrespectful when you're outspoken.
Right.
So, and like I said, I was attacked by a student, and the CPI holds that they teach you to, because I was special ed teacher assistant, so or CHA, and so I was trained to do CPI holds, put the child, but then I was placed in a classroom where it was like full inclusion. So the child that I was one-on-one with was in a regular ed class, but I was attacked by a regular ed student. The student attacked me, punched me, bit me, was trying to bite me and everything. So I put him in the CPI hold, And then I wound up being suspended for like 3 weeks, like fighting for my job. And it was along the same time that I guess the teacher at, I want to say it was either Bayview or something like that.
The teacher's
He
aide.
the teacher's assistant got into a fight with the student at that school. And I just knew that somebody was coming to my house to arrest me. So, like I said, even though I continued on for a couple of years, but it kind of, the whole incident made me real timid. So therefore, I didn't feel that I needed to be there if I was going to be timid in that place. So, like I said, it does. The system is so jacked up to where it just allows kids and their behaviors to just run rampant. And then, like you were saying, people were trying to find ways where you should fault the teacher for what she did. And really, we're there doing a job. We're trying to do our job the best we can. But yet you have, these out of control kids that make it really difficult. And then, like I said, then you have a system that trains you in one way to handle crisis, but or manage behavior, like you said, manage the behaviors. But at the same time, you get chastised if you use it. But that's the only reason why I didn't lose my job, because I had the certification for the hold.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did 6 years, and I think about 4.5 of that was as a special education teacher. I did self-contained special ed as well, where I had to teach 5 subjects, right? And so it was just me and my 14 kids all day long, and
Right.
but I was during the time of the introductions of IEPs and No Child Left Behind. So if as far as the systematic nature of it, I do agree that, because what we did ultimately, which is what made me really leave MPS, is because I felt like we were doing a tremendous disservice to the students, right? Because when I sat on writing IEPs and they gave us these expectations, and they said, well, the expectation is for this kid to only be able to achieve 50% of what a normal child would achieve in this class. So meaning if he or she completed 50% of the work, they should be given a passing grade, right? As opposed to saying, no, we're going to set some standards. So because of whatever diagnosis, that was the first part. And then the second part was, when it all fell down about suspensions. And because we in Milwaukee, on average, more African-American, Black, what have you, children were suspended than anywhere else. And especially suspended at a way higher rate than white kids in our suburban counterparts. And so there was like limitations, like, well, we only have 15 days of suspension per semester for this special ed kid, and we got to make them count, right? So if this dude's balls to the walls in my class in the morning, I send him out, he comes right back, right? And it's like, Mr. Barnes, what can I do? I can't suspend him. I can't take him home. And I don't know if that's still in place, but that was kind of one of the things that I was like, you know what? And then they had the AT program where they were taking 8th graders and putting them in the basements of high schools, saying y'all could go to high school, but you got to stay down here until you pass these tests, and you can be a regular freshman. It was all kinds of bullshit going on. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do this with them. Right. But I was always on my square with them kids, because I wasn't having it. My main mantra was, even when I worked at St. Charles with teenage felons in residential treatment, residential care, I'm not going home bruised up. I'm not going home sore. I ain't going home skint up. I'm gonna whoop somebody's ass, because I'm gonna lose my job anyways. I'm whooping somebody's ass tonight, as Bernie Mac would say.
Right. And there's no use in you just taking those punches just for no reason. It's just like kids come to school angry, and hey, I'm sorry that you're angry at your mother, but I am not your mother. I'm here not even for that student, but I look at it this way, just being the humanitarian that I am, I'm just like sitting here like, well, here, I'm helping anybody who needs it in this classroom. Even if I'm one-on-one with this one student, then if somebody else needs some help, okay, I can help you.
Right.
But then, like I said, I just don't need that turned on me, because I don't need to be worried that I'm going to jail and not be, because I was a single mother as well, and I don't want to be taken away from my child just because of some other kid's behaviors,
Right.
or nor should I be beat up or put in some kind of physical, like injury that I can't care for my child either.
Yeah,
And
well,
like I said, MPS does not even they just didn't look at it that way at all. They and like I said, I just got I consider myself truly blessed, but at the same time, if it had not been for that certification and the fact that they just know they fouled up, but it didn't change the fact of all that they put me through in those 3 weeks of being suspended and having to go to central office and look at videos and try to explain why I did what I did,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a headache. I once again though, I think to be a professional is just that, and I think there's some steps you can take to minimize incidents, but there's also some situations that are unavoidable. Now, we just had a situation here where an actual parent attacked a teacher here just months ago, where
Mm-hmm.
she jumped on her and bruised her ribs and all kinds of stuff. So that's why I say the kids are a reflection of us. So if they're seeing that at home, we know they're gonna bring that with them to school. And I was a COC director at Sherman Multicultural Art School on Locust for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to have parents come through the door, and the first thing they said, "You Mr. Barnes? Yeah, let me tell you something. Hold on. First of all, you ain't gonna tell me
Exactly.
nothing, right?
Exactly.
We're gonna have a
Right.
discussion about your child. That's what we're gonna have a
Exactly.
discussion about. But you ain't gonna tell me nothing. It ain't gonna be about you checking me. I'm here to help
Mm-hmm.
your child. Now, if we can't talk like civil adults, then I'll just call one of the administrators in and let them mediate. Because I'm already
Exactly.
knowing what you finna get. I'm
Mm-hmm.
from Capital. We don't play around with that kind of shit. We go from the shoulders. So
Exactly.
but
And
it
that's what
kept
they
me
fail
safe.
to realize.
Yeah,
We
and you shouldn't have to go
working
through
with
all of that.
your child, trying to provide, a good foundation for them at the same time. We're helping you with your child. We're not here to hurt your child or, cause them any harm or anything. So, like what's with all this disrespect? And I just don't get it. And I don't understand why, we have so many parents who, want to come in there fighting or showing their children anything other than, two adults respecting
Right.
each other.
Let me handle this. Because
Mm-hmm.
my mama, that was her thing. When I had a problem with a teacher, she said, let me handle it. Now she was
Exactly.
gonna get wild. I knew moms was finna cut the fool, but she'd be like, you get back, let me do this shit. Right. And I'd be like, all right, mama, let me move. We all knew when she said that to move anyways. When she said, get back,
Right.
get your ass out her way. Somebody about to get hit with
Mm-hmm.
something. So no, and my mom would snap on when teachers, my mother has snapped on teachers. Rail, I told you a story, your favorite teacher, Miss Neighbors, once got out of pocket with my mom's and she had to backpedal for about 40, 50 feet and get chased with a survival knife. It's real shit, man. I'm just telling you, because but she had crossed the line. She was out of pocket, just real bad. And so my mother's just like, hold on, bitch. Let me tell you something. Rest in peace to my mom. I miss my mom. I don't want y'all to think my mom was a lunatic. I already told y'all about her slapping the cashier at Spartan back in the days. People like, damn, she slapped the cashier. Yeah, it was in the 70s, man. It was a different time. Mama Jenkins said, do they still have the No Child Left Behind? I think they altered it to the point where a lot of the parts of it have just been kind of removed or adjusted. I don't know. I've been gone from the system since 2006. I left MPS. Go ahead, my sister.
Oh no, it's all good. I was gonna say, have a good night, y'all.
Oh yeah, thank you for calling.
All
I'm
right, you
glad
too.
you found a tip from the chat room to the phone line. More people need to follow your lead, right? So I won't have to
Because
keep.
I can't text that fast. I can't type it in that fast. So sometimes I wanted to share that, with y'all, but I just was like, okay, that's a lot to type. So I think I'm just called today.
It's all good. We
Thank you.
that you tune in. You always support us. I really appreciate it.
For sure,
Right.
always.
All right.
All right, people. All right.
Dion said, what about that young man who was shot in Kansas? Yeah, well, see, that was next on my talking points. We're talking about, I wanted to go to Liberty, Missouri, because I wanted to talk about the 84-year-old who shot the young brother. What's his name? Yari. Um, Sean said the Facebook blocked him from calling the show. Did they? I'm gonna have to look into this. Sean, what did he say? Facebook has blocked me from calling the show. Sean, they don't have control over my phone, so just call the line back. I actually wasn't answering. Bro, you ain't blocked, bro. No, I want to look at Liberty, Missouri. Andrew Lester, the 84-year-old white man accused of shooting Ralph Yari, a black teenager, pleads not guilty in court. The hearing lasted 3 minutes. Mr. Lester pleaded not guilty. His next hearing is set for June 1st. First of all, let's be great. I'm glad and very thankful and gracious to God that the young man did not pass away. He's actually, I think he's out of the hospital now, and he was shot in his head and in his hand. This dude actually shot him twice. I would hope that there's no people concerned about him because of his age. I wouldn't give a shit how old he is. Lock his old wrinkled stinking ass up. I don't care. Listen, throw him in the worst prison that you have. We just talked about all these instances where elderly white men, and it's this whole thing with Karens and Kens, it's ongoing. And we've had several incidents here where elderly white men have even murdered young black men. I can think of one on the south side. I can think of one on the north side where it was an elderly black man who shot a brother who had a whole family. Somebody who was mentally ill, right? It's ridiculous, man. I feel like you just got to put stuff in place so people know where their ass is going when they offend. And let's make an example out of this dude, man. Like, come on, man. This bull. Why we even got a trial for this? This motherfucker should just get on the bus and go to prison with his old, dried up punk ass. Let me see. Tiasha said I was gonna ask you. She said I was gonna ask you, how does Mark have control over your flip phone? Because it's a flip, right? It's a 2G, Tiasha.
No, I'm gonna tell you what happened, man. Because this dude don't know how to say hold on.
Right.
So all of a sudden my shit just go blank. Then I get a message saying I'm restricted for 6 days. I can't join no calls, can't join no video. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know what kind of
doing this?
I don't know what kind of Obama phone you calling from, but you shouldn't get all that from me hanging up on you. Like, it's not even my shit's. It's not even connected in that fashion. I don't know what's going on with you, man. Feds in town, bro. You gotta look around, man.
This some bullshit. I'm on my other page. This is some bullshit. Fucking with you, KB.
Right. I mean, I'll take the blame if that's what you really need. A scapegoat. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to come to court with me.
Right. Yeah. Hold out for that. I'll be there. No, I was just talking about the white, like I say, and here in Milwaukee, we just had this lawyer, right? In Shorewood, I should say. If y'all remember and I think I talked about this the other night, when they were really protesting and people were taken to the streets in the wake of George Floyd and whatnot, and what we have dealt Trayvon and Seville and all these kinds of things we've dealt with. This old white lady, she's a lawyer, huh?
The spitting lady,
young brother's face,
yeah.
And they found her ass guilty today.
Damn. Okay.
But that's what though.
Now it's just a misdemeanor.
Ain't no use caring because the misdemeanor, and she didn't go to. They dropped the charges of her kneeing the officer in the nuts and all that shit.
Right. I don't care as long as she got convicted of something. They could have convicted her for just being ugly, and it don't carry no time. I don't care. I'm just glad they found her ass guilty. Right.
No, KB.
See, black people always trying to tell you what not to celebrate. See how black people do? Don't be cheering for that shit.
That's not a victory, though, bro.
We start to show off.
What precedent does it set?
We start to show. This is why you get blocked. We start to show, talk about 420, right? We start to show. Dion's in the comments. No, it's Hitler's birthday. I'm saying I'm glad that ain't no victory. Don't you clap it now. Black people always try to fuck somebody's day.
You celebrate shit.
Man, if you would spit on a white lady, your ass going to jail, bro.
Okay. She had enough money for a lawyer, right? And she
Hell,
had
she
an
is a
attorney.
lawyer.
So, and right, she's like a tax lawyer or like something like, she's not a criminal.
Yeah.
She's something like that. So
Yeah,
she had,
sure
and
will.
by her being an attorney, I'm pretty sure she had access to some people. So I can get you off of this easily. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Barbara. The fact that she got convicted in Shorewood, to me, is a good thing. Now, all the shit about her kneeing the cop in the nuts and she done kicked the nigga in his chin and all that, I don't know nothing about that. I'm cheering for the shit that I know about. And I know she got convicted. Let me see. Deborah Jenkins, and I didn't hang up on him, by the way. So if he ain't on, his phone dropped.
I'm still here, motherfucker.
Okay. Mama Jenkins says, do you know back in the day, she said, back in the day, mama didn't play when it came to school, but you act like a child with some sense when you went. You respect your teacher, and your only purpose was to go and learn at school. They said, get your arithmetic. My daddy said, get your arithmetic together, boy. Sharon Evans said it's the gas comments that got Sean blocked. What gas comments are those? What was you talking about?
It was the one about me fucking the kid up.
Oh, okay. When you talking about you wanted to kick a kid in the throat and all that shit?
Yeah.
Your kid's in the back like that nigga ain't never whooped us at all. Listen.
And I ain't.
Right.
I haven't though. Shit.
You hopefully you didn't have to.
No.
So check this out. Since we talking about kids, even still, this is even better because Sean is here and Mama Jenkins is here. There's a corner store. Let me get this address. Chambers East Food Market, right? And it's one of these hot spot-ish type joints. And we've talked about the hot spot being just one of many corner stores that are detrimental to the communities that they're in. And they allow all kinds of wild shit, right? And so there's a videotape that circulated somehow into the Common Council's hand where there's just youngsters in the store waving pistols, smoking weed, doing the whatever, doing the wild thing. And
got a silencer on one pistol.
Right. And they lost their license. And I guess the owner's an Arab. He said, well, I was at the time when this happened, I was out of the country because I was dealing with some family and some health issues. And his lawyer's like, well, he shouldn't lose his license. But the Common Council said, no, it's a wrap. Now, is this a sign? Because I know Sean Big on telling people what they can't celebrate. There ain't no goddamn Victor. Sit your ass down. Stop clapping. Is this a sign from the Common Council that they are going to now start to crack down on these egregious corner stores in these neighborhoods? Because,
no, it's not.
Okay.
Maybe dude just ain't paying.
Let me tell you why. I was in the meeting. I was in the meeting. I seen the videos, right? I spoke with somebody who was from the neighborhood. They had been complaining for years. It took this video, though, right? Not the complaint, but the video to solidify that complaint, to add relevance to it, even though they had tried to get it closed down before. Is it going to change anything in the city? Yeah. It's going to tell them they got to tighten up. The owner, who came and said he was the owner, he wasn't even the owner. The person on the video, he's the actual owner of the building. So the reason they lost their license is because they got caught in so many lies.
Okay.
And them guns. You know what I mean? The one with the silencer did it. That right there did it.
Hey, that scared the shit out
So
of me.
I seen that. I text my guy. I said, yeah, they ass out. That motherfucker gone.
Hey, that scared the shit out of people. Silencer.
Yeah, because the alderman was like kind of naming that specifically, like there's an individual on here, but I mean, so how much footage has been provided? So I asked that question, because we do have new aldermen, right? And so we have this kind of like this new, supposedly, allegedly, before we get pessimistic, we have a new Common Council, right? And 5 new members, and so you hear this coming from all of the neighborhoods. Like Sean, you stated that there's some people from the community who said, dude, this ain't shit. We've been talking about this forever. How many neighborhoods have actually lodged multiple complaints about these corner stores? And so what we need to start looking at is, why are they being given a pass? Who are they paying off? Who's complicit, right? And so this is, they say follow the money. And so I just thought maybe this was a sign that this Common Council now would say, the new Common Council says, okay, if we see some shit like that on tape, now we gotta act. Now we gotta move. So that would tell everybody, just start recording the shit you see and sending it downtown.
So let's look at it scientifically, right? One store gets closed after numerous complaints, yet we still have stores that have been complained about for years still operating. So this new council has a chance to come in and set precedent, right? And hopefully what they started, we can start to look at it statistically that, okay, well, there's been 9 stores that we know of that has they got these erroneous ass complaints and all this shit. And they closed 8 of them, right? Now we can say, okay, shit, they're doing something. But if they just close that one, and then close one.
That was my question. That was what I said. I said, is this a sign that this is their intention?
We gotta see.
Or is this a one-off? Well, I mean, it's still.
We gotta see.
We could still speculate. We could still say, we could actually say, let's hope so. I think that might be the best.
We can pray for it. Yes, we can.
So it ain't all bad, but it ain't all good, I guess they say.
It's better than it was because that neighborhood now gets an opportunity to heal.
Right.
They can heal and they can start to develop another store, right, that can provide health options.
Well, that brings another whole situation to mind for me when I say, why has there not been any kind of real discussions by even the people who hold leadership positions about, hey man, what is their presence in our community, right? Like as leaders in neighborhood community leaders, why have we been unsuccessful in even saying, hey, this is our neighborhood, this is our community, so what we're going to do is we're going to boycott that store so that the only people, because you can't expect little kids who buy chips and candy to unless their parents are steadfast. But we should be able to shut those stores down in these neighborhoods and say, we're just not going to spend money with you. And when you go out of business, then we're going to purchase this store collectively and operate it as a co-op in the neighborhood. Like, I feel like if the right people got on board with that, it seems like they are allowed to get away with all kinds of crazy shit in our neighborhood and flee to Cedarburg or Mequon or wherever the fuck they live at. And just think about how many gas stations, even out here on the west side, on the northwest side, there's troubled spots. There's gas stations where it look raggedy. You go in there, the motherfucker's raggedy, right? It's a lot of people don't even know a lot of these gas stations have rat infestations. They have outdated products on their shelves. I know when we went into Gauss and exposed them for the rotten meat and this kind of thing, the people in the community actually said, leave them alone. That's what the feedback. We thought we was gonna get a rousing of applause from the community saying, damn, they said, leave them alone. Them Arabs cool. That's what the neighborhood told us. And I'm like, dude, we just filled up 3 carts of spoiled, expired meat. The store smells like dead meat. And you saying, leave them alone. I said, damn, that's what really made me want to back up and say, you know what? I think I could do something different in the movement because this ain't for me because people are just not appreciative. But I feel like we need to get on these Arab grocers more because how many of these stores have the same issue? And they are kind of like the centerpiece of this function. Where you going? Finna go up here and hang out by the stove. Hype's know where to meet you. You know, they sell the roses and all this kind of stuff. And brother, come in there and make grocery. Let me get some Ziploc bags, a chore boy. Let me get y'all ain't got no baking soda? Yeah, well, give me some baking soda. He buy all the ingredients and go and they sell it. There you go, buddy. Right? So
and you just explain why boycotting won't work because the money that they're receiving is not coming from grocery sales, liquor, and illegal drugs.
What's coming from cigarettes and blunts and liquor, right? That's the majority of the money. So I'm saying, collectively as a community, we should be able to say, let's go somewhere else. And if it's damaging to the community, people should be on board with it. Like, man, we're gonna shut them down. Like,
So where you gonna go? Let me ask you this, KB, because the ideal is great, right? Unless we offer other opportunities, right? Opportunities with people who have come into the community with ideas that are conducive to the community's growth, right? Unless we have those options, we leave from 23rd Street and we go to 24th Street, but that's Middle Eastern on too. Then we go to 26th Street. Okay, we ain't gonna fuck with 24th Street. Guess what? 26th Street is Middle Eastern on too. So
I think you gotta, if you gotta go one at a time, you go one at a time. See, we always want something to fix everything at once. Like we just talked about, and you just talked about. First of all, you just talked about. Hold on, damn it! You just listen. On my Stephen A. This is preposterous, right? You had the unmitigated gall. No, I celebrated the shutting down of one store. You immediately jumped in and said, "Nope, that ain't shit. It ain't fixed the problem." We gotta be willing to do at least one at a time, man. Come on.
I understand that, but once we begin to celebrate that one, we lose focus of the mission.
Well, we
right?
ain't celebrating it. We just talking about. We just acknowledging it. Nobody's throwing a parade. We know it's much more work to do, but it's cool to say, yeah, we got that done. Let's keep it moving. Like, let's build this momentum up. You can't just kill it. Don't be happy. The shit ain't over. Like, damn, when can I say, ooh, we got that done? Like, black people be hard on each other and shit.
No, I'm not being hard. I'm really trying to look out for my people because I know that there's going to be a void there, right? And even though there was a lot of bullshit there, people were going there to get minor groceries. Some don't have the means for alternate transportation. So now my thing is, what do we replace that with so that we can help these people heal more, right? We've removed the epicenter of this trauma, right? So now what do we do? Yeah, they're gone. That's great. Lovely. I love it. Believe me, man.
You said grocery. You said grocery. First of all, who's making grocery at this? Nobody's making. Nobody's getting grocery.
Some of them older people. Some of those older people actually go there for their meat deals and shit. Because hey, I ain't got the means to go to Pick and Save. Pick and Save ain't gonna give me no credit, right? Yeah, okay. I gotta walk through weed, smoke, and guns, but shit. They gonna give me some credit.
I don't know about that. I don't think they're getting grocery from there because, like I said, the majority of the money don't come from grocery. They're not making money off produce. They selling Pall Malls. They got to have 96,000 blunts. There's so many damn different wraps. I don't even know. And I thought I was a pretty hip cat. Cats be coming to the store. Give me a premium cognac, slip and slide backwoods wrap around spiral cone. I'm like, damn, when they come out with that shit, like it's a whole rack dedicated to this shit. The eggs is old, the milk is expired, the cheese is molded, but the blunts are refreshed. Right? Give me a Jazzy Mile or whatever. They got all that shit. Mama Jenkins said it's just like all these burned out houses and vacant houses just standing. The owner is getting ready to take it to court, says Tiarsha. So we'll see what's really going to happen. Okay, let's see. Tiarsha said the only reason it was closed is because the clear people are moving over there and probably did complaining about the store. But again, he's getting ready to go to court. So we'll see what's really going to happen. The owner may just have to give it to his cousin and open it right back up. Yeah, that's what they do too. They slick with that. They will pass it. They give it to my nephew. He take a kneel, take a doodle, run it for you.
That's what we got to figure out. How do we stop that from happening?
Yeah, that's
what we got to figure out.
This has become a systematic thing because I'm here to even tell those people.
Well, we got to make them not want to be in our community.
Well,
you more so than they want the money.
What do you say?
He said we got to make them not want to be in the community.
We got to make them not want to be in the community more than they want the money in our community.
And my advice to anybody who's saying, because of my limited transportation, I depend on Habib them for grocery. You eating piss poor. That food ain't worth a shit. That meat, the meat deal. There's most of them ones who do have meat. I wouldn't advise you to be eating it, right? And so, and elderly people, you can get Meals on Wheels. You can get all kinds of different stuff. There's alternatives to it, man. Like,
So hold on,
hold on.
KB,
Another
hold
thing
on,
that
bro.
needs to be established is when we tell people to boycott, we're boycotting with the understanding that we're going to bring an alternative that has healthier offerings, better price, and is actually entrenched in the community. So if they can't, let me keep on eating this spoiled fat back. Well, then you just keep on eating it. Then you stay here. Then you know what Marcus Garvey said. Some of y'all wasn't shit here. You ain't gonna be shit in Africa. So we're gonna pull off on the boat and leave your ass. Go ahead, Sean.
The thought. I mean, the idea that you just laid out. That's great, but it's just a idea. It's something you came up with because that's not factual. Before I returned to the Garden Homes community, them neighbors, man, they wouldn't even look up towards activists. You know what I mean? And some of these people are older people, man, who shit. I gotta decide on if I'm gonna pay my neighbor to take me to pick up groceries, or do I send my grandson up there to get some of that meat? My grandson, he can go up there. I can't go up there because I'm scared, Sean. I just ain't going up there. Right?
You keep saying grocery, though. Nobody's getting grocery out these stores.
Bro, listen, man. Listen, man. The hot spot, okay? A hot spot made over $1 million in 2015 from double dipping on the food stamp card. And this wasn't just liquor. A lot of this was the groceries. They were double charging. He was in the back of the store on a register and a computer and watching the purchases and double dipping. And it was from the food, the meat they sell in the back, right? They go get bags of potatoes and shit, and it be in them, bro. People do
Listen
go
to
there
what I'm
to
saying.
make
I think what we're having is a difference in what grocery is, okay? Because if I say go to the corner store and grab me a box of rice and grab me a can of gravy and get an onion, that ain't grocery, right? Those are items. When I say coming in the store with a cart and you putting food like in all I don't see anybody, and I don't hang out in the hot spot. So even the corner store that I grew up around, you didn't go there to get groceries. You walked on down to Kohl's when it was on Teutonia to get grocery. I'm just going to the corner store to grab something. So when I say grocery, I'm talking about something different. I don't see, they don't have shopping carts.
You talking about meat and different vegetables and canned food. And I know what groceries is, KB.
Oh no, I'm not so sure.
I family unit, right?
Not if y'all go to the corner store and be like, we finna get grocery. No, you're not. It's not grocery.
We're talking about we're talking about people that have been conditioned over time, man, to accept this alternate reality, right? What we call bullshit, they call grocery.
Okay. Right? What? See, okay, so that's the difference in the word.
Yeah. Okay.
The context is everything. Mama Jenkins said no one is selling gas at the gas stations either. They are nothing but after-hours dope dens. These corner stores make big money on food stamps, and then they give credit. No one is paying attention or monitoring these stores. She says she caught the store on 42nd and Capitol selling single cigarettes and informed them that when their license was up, I'd be there, and I was there. Mama Jenkins on there. Oh, man, Mama Jenkins don't be playing. Dion said them motherfuckers go to Aldi and buy bread for 19 cents and put it in their store for $1.99. He says motherfuckers go to Fast and Friendly and shop their ass off. Fast and Friendly is not a corner store though. Fast and Friendly is
why isn't it? Well,
they still a nasty ass store just like these other stores.
Very much so. I don't know. Allegedly, because I don't know. Man, there's a big difference between that store on Chambers and Fast and Friendly, just in the amount of in the inventory and where it's at. It's a big difference.
On what in Chambers? Are we talking about six? Oh no, I'm talking about Locust, the old mothers. My bad.
The one that they just closed. That didn't have no. They're not doing Like Fast and Friendly
No.
really has a meat. I bought some ribs from there one time because nothing else was open on a Sunday. My family was here. It was the only thing open. I went and bought a bunch of baby back ribs from them. It wasn't corner store. It wasn't a corner store setup. It was I'm not stupid. I'm like, no, this is real meat. They got way, they're on a different level than these small
Okay,
stores.
Grow extra
Listen.
toe.
What you say, Kamar?
You finna grow an extra toe. You ate from Fast and Friendly.
Man, well, that shit's delayed because that was about 8 years ago. So
It's coming. It take
Right,
a
maybe
while.
maybe that's why my back broke down on me and shit because I ate them ribs all that like let me see. Dion says, let me see. He said Fast and Friendly nasty as a motherfucker. It is. I never went back there. I'm not a regular there, but I did go there that morning and buy them ribs. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. My whole family was here. We needed barbecue. I was trying to work the grill while it was at church. It's a long story. But the ribs was good though. My family told them, goddamn, they was like, these are the best ribs we ever had. Like 5 slabs of baby back.
Think about the alternative, right? Within, let's say, a mile circumference. You got Pete's Market up the street, right? Outside of that, though, what do you have?
Well, I think that what you saying alternatives because people tend to get where they want to go, and then say they can't get where they need to go. Your ass can find a ride to do almost when they let them Jordan 3s come out. Your ass will be where they at, where they selling them at. So don't tell me you can't make the extra effort to get some fresh food. If you're choosing to say I don't care, I'm gonna go here, then live with the issues in the community and don't complain. Wallow in it, right? Like wallow in the mud. But if you're talking about how can we change the community, the answer is to shut down anything that's counterproductive in the community. So if that's a corner store, then that's who we going at. But that also, and Sean, I do understand what you're saying in that I don't know that there's an element in a lot of these communities that brings people together to say, hey, y'all, this is problem spots in our neighborhood. And this is what we want to eradicate because a lot of people are not going to come to the meeting. They're not going to join a block club. They're not going, you know what I mean? Like some people, we talk about the conditioning. I think some people feel like I live in this horrible community. It's a badge of honor. It makes me a bad motherfucker that I can walk that, man, please. I know all these cats over here. We get respect over here. My family grew up over here. They know my cousins, man. They don't look at it like, man, we need to change this neighborhood. They look at it like I'm tough because I live over here. That's just my perspective.
That's what they've been taught, though. That's what they've been taught from the moment that they could really conceptualize shit and understand shit, right? Children are born intelligent, man, and during those formative years, right, 2 to 7, seeing this type of shit, hearing this type of shit, visualizing it, right, having it constantly, this stimuli pushed into you, right? You become that.
Right. Well, that's why I say some things are systematic and some things are systemic. Some of this is actually us inhaling the fumes and becoming sick from it. That's why I say some of it's systemic. I totally understand what you're saying. Tiasha said Fast and Friendly used to have some nice chicken wings and meat deals back in the day. See, I ain't alone. Tiasha with me. Had that grill lined up, boy. I got wings, everything up on here. Sausages and whatnot, polo sausages. They sell food and liquor on Keith across the street from the prison. He said we goofy as black people. He said we goofy as black people. The store that George was killed in front of still open and niggas should have burnt that motherfucker down. But you know what? I've been to Minneapolis many times and we drove past it. My daughter's actually in school over there. Driven past the memorial, but I've never stopped to kind of, take it in. Is this store that he was in front of? I think this might be one of these kind of trouble spots where it's just kind of all kinds of shit going on in and around the store.
I gotta ask a question, KB. I gotta ask a question, bro, because I'm not taking nothing. I'm not saying that these police, none of that shit. Never would I say that, right? However, I'm looking at the beginning of this, right? They were called and approached him because of what he did, which was try to pass a counterfeit bill. Now, he went there. He was comfortable going there because the store was on bullshit, and his bullshit around that did that perpetuate his death. I don't know. In my opinion, yes. But that's just my opinion. His actions caused his death.
Okay.
His actions now. The reaction of the cop was over that, right? It was extreme, erroneous, whatever you want to call it. It was wrong. However, before that cop came, there had to be a beginning, and that started with Mr. Floyd.
Okay.
And burning the store down, that's not going to bring Mr. Floyd back, and it's actually going to help them because they got insurance on the motherfucker. Close that motherfucker down and keep it closed down and send a message to the other stores that we not tolerating no bullshit. I'm with you on the closing this shit down.
Not only, and this is Dion said, not only does the Arab stores, but the Chinese stores that do nails and sell hair, not only them stores, not only those Arab stores, he's saying, but he's saying the Koreans
all foreigners.
worship. He said the Koreans whooped ass and motherfuckers still go there. So check game. We actually identify as one of the only groups where we can see our own brutalized in a business and still patronize that business. White folks will cancel you for any goddamn thing. You kicked the dog. You don't shop there anymore. Your whole shit's ruined. The fact that they're in those stores 20 deep, and when you come in there and fuck with one of them, all of them come out and get on your ass, shows how they feel about each other. But it's just us who don't give a fuck about each other, because we say, shit, that ain't me. It ain't me. And listen, I personally argued with Arabs in several different stores about their treatment of kids. I used to have this thing where I was just when I would see them treat kids a certain way, a lot of times, kids are in there trying to pay for candy or whatever in the Arabs. You don't have enough. I say, hey, man, look, y'all get y'all money. I pay for their shit. Here, get. That's all y'all want. Here, y'all go. Thank you, mister. I say, man, stop talking to them goddamn kids like that. You don't tell me that. No, I tell you, motherfucker, stop talking to them kids like that. Like, I've gotten into it.
More of that.
I've had Arabs run from behind the glass and then run up to me and be like, God damn, I was standing on a box back there. I didn't know this motherfucker was this big. So he had to get his little ass back behind the glass. Like I tell him, before you get your ass booted to the moon. But we do need more people in our community, even if it's an elderly person. I've said to Arabs before, like, hey man, I got it. If I ain't got it, you 45%. I got it, man. You good, man. Go ahead. That's the kind of love we should have for each other, man. And I understand it's not there, but it's a need for it. But I feel like we need to kind of mobilize, polarize our communities. Like, I feel like, but it's hard to get people who don't have shit to care about anything, right? So you go into these neighborhoods where people kind of live a nomadic existence. They live in these poor, rundown neighborhoods, and they feel like, I don't own this shit, and the landlord be on some bullshit, so I don't care about his property. It's gonna be hard to get those people together in one room and say, hey man, we the block club. They're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here. I'm 2 months behind in my rent. I'll be gone next week anyway. Fuck this house. I'm gonna sell as much crack as I can out this motherfucker before I leave. I hope they come and raid it when I leave. Right. This is the kind of mentality that we have, man. Like, so, once again, everything is a reflection of us. And these are children. They're children that come from these communities that we're talking about, who are being raised. Yeah, I ate junk food coming up. Yeah, I ate Cheetos, Doritos, Snickers, Twix. But my mom also cooked collard greens and pinto beans and neck bones and, pot roasts and chicken. And we ate regular. Sometimes you got to go to the store. It wasn't the diet. It wasn't every day I drink a soda and a bag of hot chips, and that's my dietary supplement. It's bound to be something wrong with you if that's the case, man. Let me see. He says, Dion says, we'll see the motherfuckers whooping their ass, walk right past them and go in and do our business. Yeah, man. We got some things that we need to work on. Right? Definitely when it comes to how we rock with each other, we got some shit we need to work on. I don't think anybody can deny that. And that's one of the reasons they can still exist in our communities, because we can't be one nation under a groove. And so, like I said, every time you want to celebrate something, it's another black person saying you sell out ass nigga. What you happy about that shit for? Harder problem. You mad ass niggas. Mama Jenkins says they go to Sam's, they shop and get all the soda on one cart, sell one soda for $1.25. It's 36 in the carton and it only costs $13. They know how to make money, and the solution for these problems is for us black folks to team up and open our own store. We just need to be about our business. Our people need to learn about business, supply, and demand. Who was that? Was that Ice Cube who had the song when he said dope dealers, you kill us. That's Ice Cube on Us, right? When he said you got all this money, but you never open up a grocery store in a community, right? You never open businesses that could benefit us, and you made all this money off dope. They're bad as the police because you kill us, right? Okay, that you got rich start slanging dope and never built us a supermarket. Y'all ain't. I know y'all done heard Us by Ice Cube.
Yeah, I just don't know the words, so I can't rap it with you.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Everybody's looking at me like, what are you talking about? What is he talking about? What is Kevin talking about? The show about nothing, right? You're right. We do need to learn. We do need to learn business, Mama Jenkins. I'm one person, Dion says, but if a motherfucker talks slick to me or try to fuck me over, I'll never go there again. The gas station on Appleton and Hampton. Fuck them. You know what? People have had a lot of bad experiences with them, and for a long time, I wouldn't go because there was a rumor that he had pulled a gun on some youngsters. Man, but they got this Mexican joint up in there now, boy. I'm a sucker for Mexican food. You say you buy Mexican food from the gas station? I'm trying to tell you,
it'd be slapping. But they also
Super Taco is called.
They had a truck. They put their truck on Fond du Lac and 60. Like off of Fond du Lac in Hampton by that hair store in Walgreens. That's the truck that be having that food from that spot.
Okay. Yeah. I just because like I said, I've steered clear of them for so long, and then I see, because I have to tell people all the time, Mexican food is like my favorite. Like I'm rocking with the shit. I could probably eat the shit every day.
Yeah, they got some good ass burritos.
I'm gonna try. If I see one, I'm gonna try it. Like I done been to the trucks and all this shit. And me and my son went there and got some food. I said, okay. I went back the next day. Don't tell nobody. I'm fat. What do you expect? What do fat dudes do? They ride around looking for places to eat and shit. He said niggas won't buy from niggas. You can sell the exact same shit for less, and niggas will be like, fuck that nigga. He too high, but your shit costs less. Listen, this is the point of my conscious clothing line. Right? And so, because I'm not a fashion guy. And I don't give a shit about, what people wear. But I see we have this real kind of addiction to name. We're brand whores. Like and it's the people who come from the poorest areas who will waste the most amount of money on some bullshit. And I hate to break it to people, but most of the things you purchase in terms of clothing and whatnot all come from the same factory in Korea or Japan or wherever, or China, wherever it's made at. Paraguay, wherever. You never look on the labels when you get to do made assembled. What?
Yeah, do you ever watch high level conversations with 19 Keys?
I have not.
Okay, he be having some dope podcasts, but he had this dude Devlin Carter, and he has the Saya Collective, but he got off by customizing shoes at first. And then a bunch of like Under Armour tried to get him on the design for him and shit like that. And he said it was all about ownership. He was saying because he said that's why he do his collective. He don't have a lot of shit out there, but it's about ownership and having something he could pass it down to his kids. He was saying because even the companies we think are black owned, they're not black owned. They just have a partnership. Right. With a company,
right? So they can mass produce for cheap,
right. So he was saying how, I guess Kanye had put some person on. I forgot the name of the shit. Off-White, I think it's called. But they was like, Off-White ain't owned by that black dude. He got a partnership with Palm Springs or something. But he busted down. He tell you how even Versace and all them, they shit made in China too. but they send the finished product to Italy and put the logo on it or tag on it, because where you finish clothing is where you can say it's from. So that's some game they do to say made in Italy, but he said all that shit made in China.
That's what I'm saying. So I want to really poke the bear. I do, and I want people to be exposed for some of our some of our wonton wastefulness. Okay, because I get it. I get that if you're beaten down and you're taught that you're not worth anything because you don't have this, that, and the third, you feel like if I go out and embellish and spend some money on something that people say is expensive that has value, then it adds to me as a person, and it does not.
Right.
Material things that have a high value don't add to your personal value. They don't add to your worth, right? Like you say, it's an investment. Well, is a $200 Balenciaga hoodie really an investment? Not really, unless you're gonna pack it up and save it for the future and pull it out in 50 years and say this vintage. But you can watch that shit more.
Your personal value really is what you got without nothing. Like when you ain't got no cash, no clothes, no nothing, that's your personal value. How much are you worth now? What do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know how to get some more? Do you know what I mean? This is like, you know what I mean? Talk about value. I mean, like, what's your value?
Yeah.
People they place it on the wrong shit.
Okay, so if I decide, okay, I want to wear Gucci, right? But I don't want to spend $100 on Gucci. And I give me a machine and I make a shirt that says Gucci. And I wear it somewhere. Is mine not Gucci? I think my Gucci is more authentic. It's real Gucci. I made it. Right?
Sure.
So as opposed to me wasting $100. Now I get it. People say, but Kev, you paying for the quality. I'm saying you can buy a premium quality t-shirt and get quality, the same kind of materials they use
from the same distributor.
Right. And I said, to me, this is Gucci. People say, dog, you look stupid. Why? Because you got Gucci right across your chest too.
I mean, shit. Your shit might end up being more valuable than Gucci. It all depends on, like Dapper Dan. Like he was making Gucci hot. You know what I'm saying? Like making whole outfits off of a purse design and shit like that.
Right.
So it wasn't Gucci. It was better than Gucci.
Well, it was Gucci that was catered to the urban, and Gucci wasn't even giving a fuck about urban Black America at the time. Right. But this too is people paying hundreds and thousands of dollars for a Gucci sweatsuit, right? And now you're helping Gucci when they at that point was like, what? It's niggas wearing our shit, and they from where?
Him like they was raiding the cartel and shit.
Exactly. So why not? If I want to listen, if I want to wear shirts every day that say something social across the front, one day it says freedom, one day it says justice, one day it says education. Nobody should look at me and be like, well, he dressed funny. It should be about, okay, because I feel like what you wear kind of is a reflection of your personality. So I just feel like we need to have our own kind of statements. I feel like Black people, everything we wear should make a statement because we wear so many other people's shit. So why not be a billboard for yourself? Right. Why not? Like, if I'm gonna wear Nike and pay extra money for it just simply because it says Nike, why can't I make my own Nike shirt? I get copyright infringement, but it ain't what you do. It's how you do it. Remember, I said that. Conscious clothing.
I remember back in the day, growing up, we used to see them Bart Benson shirts. Remember that shit?
Uh-huh.
It wasn't. It was the Black Simpsons
right. I know
family.
what you're talking about. Yep.
He wasn't Bart Simpson. He was Bart Benson.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, man. The point will be made. This is why I'm a long time ago, man. I got over the name brands. Like I really at one point was, because I was raised in the 80s at a time when that shit really took off. Like it mattered what kind of sneakers you got on. Like, you got on Levi's, you got on, you motherfucker come out with some tough skins and I was forced to wear tough skins and rustlers when I was young because my parents was like, we ain't spending all that money. As soon as I got older, I'm like, no, I'm wearing all of the fashion shit now. And then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? You don't even got to do that. Like there's a way to dress and you don't have to be a label whore. There's nothing wrong with getting quality. I get a person saying, Kevin, I want a nice tailored suit and I want it, quality and this kind of thing. But you can go get a tailor or up and coming fashion designer who will make you some raw shit. You don't have to go and get Armani. Armani don't give a fuck about you. We should demand the places where we spend money. We should demand that they put something back into the community. So I would say with conscious clothing, for every dollar you spend, it's going to be a dollar going back towards something to be done positive in the community, right? So you might be laughing like, why you got that on? But $20 spent with me puts $5 or $6 back into something that's going to be positive for the community. It's just Ben and Jerry's ice cream all over again. Dion said somebody got their ass whooped on 35th. He said, did you see dude on 35th? The center got shut down for whooping ass. I didn't see that. I didn't see that one. Mama Jenkins said a baby can't walk, got on $100 Jordans. Explain that to me.
Right.
Explain that. Like, that's another thing that we do. And it's like, okay, I understand, you want to be hip and trendy. And for young people, that's a big part of, we all know, like, man, I want to dress like everybody else. But from an adult perspective, what justifies that in your head? Because I got money? Wait, you put $100 on some baby shoes, but wouldn't put $100 in the bank and say, I'm going to start him a college fund right now.
Right.
I mean, this is the kind of place we're going to have to move into if we want to get away from where we're stuck at, right? It's higher level thinking. Like, I could, my son had Jordans. His first pair of Jordans were given to us. I think it was by my sister-in-law that she had from her son, who was a little bit older. And so my son had Jordans. Now, once he got to be about 8 or 9 or 10, I did buy him Jordans. I do buy him the shoes that he wants because he's a young man. He's coming up and I want to make sure he has some of the things. That's just me as a father providing for him. It's no excuse because people say, Kev, why you didn't take that $200 you put on some Jordans and start him a college fund? You absolutely right. Why the fuck didn't I? So I'm even laughing at myself. I'm not the type of dude that's going to tell you what's wrong with everybody else and ain't shit wrong with me.
Hey,
I'm part of the problem too.
But you know what, Kev? We also do stuff that we figure gonna help our kids. You know what I mean? Because It's also like a reward for doing what you're supposed to do. You get to get some stuff that you may want along this ride. You know what I mean? You're doing everything else I tell you to do.
Right.
You dig what I mean? And Absolutely. I can afford to get you this. I'm gonna get it for you. It's a different story with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We talking about them parents that's barely keeping the lights on and making sure their kids got these J's and they can't even walk.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on,
because
man.
Even with a pair of Jordans, there's still expectations for you to do the right thing. So if he's really wholesale fucking up, no Jordan money will be spent. You'd be in gym hooping in some shower shoes. I'm not fucking with you, right? Like real talk. Go ahead, real.
Oh no, I was gonna say, but who to say they spent that $100? I mean, boosters are highly prized in our community.
That's true too. That's true too. That's very true. That's true. They say the
matter of fact, if y'all know any out there, nah, I'm just playing, but kind of just
shout out to Mama Jenkins. Shout out to Mama Jenkins. She said that's why I love my Outlaw Radio hoodie. People look at me when I got it on because people want to know what it is, right? Like so. But it's for me when somebody sees it and people have seen me with it and say, so what's this now? Oh, this is my podcast. Oh, you a podcaster or this is my radio show. This is my internet radio show. Okay, well, how I listen to it, a woody woo, what y'all be talking about? All this kind of, it initiates the conversation as opposed to somebody saying, that's a cold ass Gucci shirt. And then that's the end of the conversation. Right? It's partying with a purpose. And this is just for me, because I'm like a social critic, right? And I'm a cynical asshole. So when I say I want to poke the bear, I really want to do it because I want to make us see how silly our addiction to these brands are, right? And the reaction. You'll see what I mean when I've been intending on debuting it, but it's been cold. So because we started with t-shirts, but you'll see. Conscious clothing coming soon. Mama Jenkins said demand and supply once again. I take my cue. I read the autobiography of John Johnson, who started Ebony magazine. And John Johnson initially was an insurance salesman, and a lot of people don't know. Back in the days, most insurance companies wouldn't provide life insurance for black people, and so there were several large black insurance companies, in particular in Chicago. And he worked for one, and they asked him, "Well, what made you come up with Jet magazine? What made you come up with Ebony magazine and this kind of thing?" He said, "I looked around and tried to find something that I could provide for my people that they didn't have." And so when I went to the newsstand, I would see Time magazine, I would see Life magazine, I would see all these different publications, and they featured no people of color at all. And so I felt like black people deserve that same kind of representation. So I just started to work on publishing magazines so that we could pick up magazines and see our celebrities and see, what's going on with the civil rights movement and what's going on with the liberation of African countries on the continent of Africa that were trying to get liberated. So I believe that too. When I look around, I say, well, what do I want to do to get money? Well, I want to provide something for the people that they don't have. Right now, people say, well, some other people sell T-shirts, Kevin. Right, but I think the purpose of it and the point and the messages of it is something that's severely missing. Now, I'm not up on every T-shirt creator, so if you out there and you think you got a raw ass logo or some kind of slick ass hashtag, shout out to you. Try to rain on my parade. But I feel like what we're gonna offer is unique. And I like with Kamar, a bunch of people say, I sell CMOS, I sell this, I sell that. But how many of them can actually consult with you on what you're taking or sit down with you to create a plan and a path and say, hey man, let's set a goal. Don't just take this and think you finna go home and wake up in the morning and be He-Man.
Right.
Tell you about what this journey you're about to undertake and what it's going to require. So I'd rather get it from somebody who can say, no, this provides these minerals, this works on that, this is good for this. Look, here go the ingredients, this what this is. I'd rather do it like that. So
Right.
It's space for that, because that's something we're sorely missing. Information is, people don't realize how valuable information actually is, man. And the exchange of it is even more priceless. She said, Mama Jenkins says, black people will spend about $150 on Jordans, but won't get their daughters into some ballet lessons. More than that now, $200 is the lowest going price. You're right. The kid got on $250 worth of Jordans and can't read. Maybe you should have got him a tutor. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to tell you how to run your life. I'm just saying, little man gear, but he can't even spell Jordan. What kind of shoe you got on, little man? Air Jordan. Who was that? I don't know. Can you spell it? No. Do you care? I don't give a fuck. Look, I sound like Kodak Black, don't I? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Kodak Black. I don't get it. I'm getting old. But yeah, man. So it's a lot to just messages and messages and messages. But I think I wanted to kind of finish up tonight with the theme of the show, which was Black Enough. And I got on this because we throw this around a lot, and a lot of us take this kind of approach to who's black enough and who's not, and what blackness is, and what dictates how black a person is, or what contributes to their level of blackness, or how a black man should talk, walk, think, eat, whatever. Everybody has an opinion. And so when we look around and we say, why are we in Milwaukee? Why is this such a city of silos? Well, it's a bunch of different black people who have disagreements on how to be black, or what black is, or what we should be working on. And so I started to think about, okay, what, in my opinion, what's black enough for me? What does that mean to me? Am I black enough for myself? Right? So I felt like this would be an interesting conversation to have with the fellas. TR should just send me one of them 3-pagers. He said, my dad taught me when I was younger, he always told us you just paying for the name because the clothes came from China. Like you said, I've never been a person to get in the name brand. One of my sons wanted to wear nothing but Jordans when he was in high school. I put some money on it, but he got in a job at Applebee's when it was in Midtown. He changed his mind about buying nothing but Jordans when he seen it was going to cost his whole check. He got out of that mindset real quick. Right, to teach them the value. Shout out to my son, he just got his first job. Right. And so, I know he's not going to be frugal. Like he wants a whip. But I'm pretty sure the shoe thing, because I know he loves shoes, that'll be part of what he does. But he will understand eventually the value of money and what things cost. So eventually he'll put in all them hours and work so hard for this money, and go in that store and be like, I'm not spending half my check on that shit. Let me find something else that I like. So yeah, you got to teach them value with it. It's okay to gift a child, but to teach them the value of it. So black man, Kamar, what's black enough for you? What is black? What does that mean? I mean, people say
Well,
race first and this and that. I just want to get y'all take on it.
I feel like it's to the individual. It's to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't hold you to the same standard as me. I can't hold Rail to the same standard as me. You know what I'm saying? Some people feel like they want to get out in the streets and get a revolution started there. Some people feel like they want to get a revolution started in the classroom. You know what I mean? Who's to say one is more important than the other?
So what's black enough for you though? What do you consider when you see something you say, okay, that's for us right there. That's cool for us.
Growth. You know what I mean? Self-awareness. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the new black right now, because that's what we learned. That's what we own now. You seeing that growing in the community. People being more aware of themselves. You know what I mean? Checking out themselves, working on themselves, healing. You know what I mean? I feel like that's our lane. Like, you know, every race pretty much got a lane, and I feel like wellness is ours. You could go all the way through history to the beginning of time. You know what I mean? Wellness is our lane. So to me, wellness was black. This is where it all started.
So wellness is important. You said what was the other one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was all over the place with it. It's a lot.
And
you know
there's a point.
Family,
there's a point.
You know, pretty much everything that we be on, that we big on, that we know we need to work on. You know what I mean? Black family. You know what I mean? To fight our financial issues. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, our mental wellness, our self-awareness and all that.
Okay, because what I'm thinking is, when I look at a situation, I say, okay, is black part culturally how you identify is important to me in your blackness. What kind of music do you listen to? Right? And people say, well, you can't quantify somebody's blackness by what they listen to. And I say, I beg to differ. Right? If you understand our cultural impact in society and you understand our contributions, then the kind of music you listen to does kind of gauge your blackness. Do you understand the different schools of music? Or do you just understand one? Do you understand the importance of gospel and its transition to blues and the derivative of jazz and rock and what R&B actually is, which is more rhythmic rock and roll, to funk, right? Do you understand the sound that came from Stax Records? Do you understand Chess Records, right? Can you tell the difference between Parliament funk and George Duke funk? Do you understand jazz fusion, right? Grover Washington Jr., Johnny Guitar Watson, blues funk fusion. See, I think those kinds of things, because those are things that are created by us, right? So I think as a black person, if you haven't cultivated some understanding of that, it says something about your level of blackness. Same thing when I talk about leadership and civics and citizenship. Have you researched our place in society and some of the great men that have come before us? Have you looked up at Adam Clayton Powell Sr.? Have you looked up black intellectuals who existed before you, who really thought outside the box, black scientists, black physicists, right? And said, no, we've been contributing to this situation a very long time, and I'm fully aware of our contributions to them. To me, that indicates what level of blackness you are, right? Your concern for the people outside your home in your community. Because one thing about us is we've always had to kind of assemble and have a strong sense of community because we was all thrown in the same pot with the same scraps. So in order for us to survive, we had to become efficient, which meant I care about my fellow black people. Are we brothers and sisters, or is it me against them motherfuckers? Right? That's kind of how it goes. So those kinds of things, when I say what's black enough for me, there has to be a sprinkling, even with food, right? What are you eating? And if I get to healthy foods, there's foods that are beneficial, more beneficial for our biology, that for the way we're made up. And it's not about what a European told us. It's not about the fake ass pyramid that they gave us growing up, in which most of the shit wasn't even healthy for you, but it was partnerships with different industries that they sold that shit on. Did you
Right.
try to gain an understanding of something that we need that's specific to us in terms of food? So when I see all these things, I say, okay, there is certain shit, right? Like, because I don't want to go to, some kind of European festival that has nothing that represents my lineage, my cultural history as a piece. You should be open to other things. I should be open enough to say I'm sick of this shit. I'm ready to go back to the crib and get being some real shit. So, real, when I say what's black enough for you? Like when you say my blackness, you walking around with it, you represent it. What does that even encapsulate for you?
For me, I guess when you use it like that, I just picture blackness as my legacy. You know what I'm saying? My family now, but my legacy and what I leave them, when I eventually am no longer physically working here. You know what I'm saying? So blackness to me is divine masculinity, divine femininity taking place as the head of the household, building a family, positioning a family. Like I think black excellence, and to be funny or not to be funny, but when I think of like when I visualize how I want type shit, I think of the Fresh Prince, like Uncle Phil. To me, Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, like and the household they ran and shit. To me, that's what I think I aspire for, and I think that it would help if we all aspire to just be in position to be able to take care of ourselves and also have the means to step in and help family out if need be, because that's how we can grow our nation and get that black excellence back popping.
So I like the terminology unapologetically black, right? And so this is what I'm trying to, and I want people to understand it's okay. It's okay for me to be listening to some music and say, this ain't black enough for me. You got to change the station. It's okay for me to go in a restaurant and taste some food and be like, this shit tastes horrible. This ain't no shit, black people. This ain't black food. Because I feel like there's a stigma attached to it in which they try to make us feel ashamed for appreciating the principalities of it. You feel
know
me?
what? Now that you mention it, this I don't know if this go with it or not, but dig this shit. I was at Walmart the other day. I had to go to the one on Brown Deer and shit because they closed mine.
Right?
But
They closed
while
his Walmart.
oh right. But while I was in that Walmart, like you ever seen Rap Snacks? I think Master P made this shit.
Yeah.
They got backstage popcorn for. I told my lady, I said, look, they done fucking gentrified Rap Snacks because they got Kelly Clarkson barbecue and Jonas Brothers sweet and salty and shit.
I know you seen the Jason Tatum's rough flaming hot ruffles.
Nah, I ain't see that one,
Barbecue,
but I wouldn't be
barbecue,
surprised.
barbecue.
You know what I
Spicy
mean?
barbecue. They
They
good
all
too.
that type shit. You know what I mean?
But that's what it made me think of, because that popcorn was bland as shit. Like I bought it just to see, and I said, damn. I said, if gentrified had a taste, this would even be the taste. Like it was bland as hell, but it was funny because I said, damn, first we had Rap Snacks, now we got backstage popcorn with country stars and boy bands and shit.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that we don't take ownership of shit allows them to further bastardize it. That we don't stand on saying, hey man, this ain't some shit black people eat. Get this shit out of here. That ain't black. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
we are taught that it's wrong for us to be happy and love ourselves and say, nah, man, I'm here to hang. Listen, it should be okay for me to say I went somewhere and I was looking around and I said, damn, it ain't no black people here. I want to leave. And that's not racist. That's not, I don't think I think that's just, it should be a right for me to say, dude, I absolutely enjoy being around other black people, right? We have a language, right? And let's be honest, this is all the Queen's English, but a lot of times I can communicate with a brother, and it's sad to say, I can kind of gauge his blackness by the way he speaks or she speaks. And it's not all about ebonics. It's about what they speak about and how they speak about certain things.
Yeah.
If you're too watered down, if you're too neutral to everything You're gender neutral. I don't see color. I really don't. I love everybody. All this kind of shit. I'm looking at you like you're not black enough for me. You feel me? And I hope somebody out there say, Kev, you don't get the right to say that. Well, I actually do. Because they have the right to say it right back to me. Well, to me, Kev, that's not black. Now, are they wrong? Absolutely. Right? And they don't know what the fuck they talking about. But I just think we should put a definition to it. And we should own it. Not the negative stuff, the good stuff. To say, man, listen, man, I'd rather see black art. And it shouldn't be looked upon as something bad. I should say, man, you know, I hear you with that, the way y'all cook it in the kitchen, but I'm gonna need for y'all to bring some seasoning salt out to my table. I'm sorry, we have a black gentleman out there who would like some seasoning salt on the side. Oh, okay, I get it. He's black. We don't use seasoning salt. Because who the fuck else uses seasoning salt except for black people? I don't think white people use seasoning salt when they cook. Right? Laurie's owe us a check. But I just feel like when I say black enough, there's a certain way you have to be in order for you to be black enough. If you don't care about what's going on in this country when it comes to art, the way we're being treated, you're not black enough. If you don't give a shit about what happens in your community because it ain't happening to you, therefore you don't want to speak up against it, you don't want to speak out against it, you're not black enough. You're just not. If you don't want to sit down and really do some research about where we've come from and where we're actually headed, you're not black enough. You're just a regular person. I'm not just a regular person. I'm a black person. That makes me unique. That makes me dynamic. That makes me one of a kind, right? They broke the mold, right? And so I want us to be able to own that. When we look at our communities, there should be clear definitions. When we look at what the Arab store does and we say, he's fucking up the neighborhood. And if you support that shit, you're not black enough. I'm going to say, I don't give a fuck. Okay, well, you be on your own. Live on your island. Because us black people going to live together. And we going to do what it has to be about what's for the greater good, I guess is my point. Because if you don't care about that, then you're not black enough. You know, OJ said, well, Jay-Z got it wrong. I'm not black, I'm OJ. The problem with that, OJ, is that you didn't give a shit about what was happening in the community to the people you grew up in the community, you ran off, you got some riches. You said, man, I don't care about that shit. At that point, you were no longer black enough. Now, when you was poor, coming from the projects, and you was striving, trying to break the chain and change the trajectory of your family, you was black enough because you understood. As soon as you got the check and you got the money, you got the influence, you say, fuck them. Then you became less black. So you can be black enough and then become less black, right? So when I heard the mayor speaking, right, for the first time, and I didn't hear him get aggressive and go right at issues, I didn't say he wasn't black enough. I said he ain't speaking black enough because he ain't telling the truth. And people say, well, you can't say that out loud. They never elect him. Why the fuck not? Because you don't want nobody to think you are pro-black. What's wrong with being pro-black? Right? Certain things have to be black enough. If you're going to have an award show and a certain amount of black artists don't get nominated, that show is not black enough. If you got a factory where you have minimal black employees, your factory is not black enough. And I don't mind saying it. It should be more people of color up and through here. And I think that that's the mentality that we have to kind of change and come up with. And sometimes criticism is not out of hate or you know, scorn. Sometimes criticism is meant for correction if you know how to say it or offer it. Right? Like, because I can say to some brothers, say, man, you know, you never thought of this or that. And you say, man, Kel, you know what? I ain't think about it like that. As opposed to, man, you don't know what the fuck you doing. It ain't what I said. It was how I said it. Say, man, you should look into whoop-de-woo-woo into the. So you need to take your ass down there and da-da-da. Who takes criticism like that? Nobody. So all this is just me on my soapbox, but I just want us to start to say, let's own this shit. Let's own it. From the shit we wear, from the shit that we eat, from the stuff we listen to, the books we read, what we watch on television, because it's a lot of bullshit messages floating around out there, and we just jump into it wholeheartedly. We can do shows about the most in-depth subjects. We can have great interviews and whatnot, and we will get absolutely blown away in numbers by some motherfuckers talking about Beyonce, talking about Lil Uzi Vert with his crazy ass, or some shit that don't mean nothing to our people. They will destroy us in the numbers. And that's why I said the other night, if I come out here and say, guess what, y'all? I'm gay. That shit will go triple viral. Nobody gives a fuck what I said when I started talking about what's important to the
Hey, they're
community.
gonna take that out of context. 10
Right, they're
years
about to
from
make
now.
a sound bite out
They
of
just
that.
gonna hear that part with you saying, I'm gay.
This nigga gay.
Like, dog, that was 10 years ago and they took it out of context. Come on, nigga.
Right. I got a whole woman. No, you gay, nigga, you gay. And a lot of people gonna keep listening for a while to see if I said, I'm gonna see if he gonna say some gay shit. Then I'm gonna bust his ass out. Right? It's just we're not oftentimes interested in what's important, right? I like to be entertained, but I prefer to be informed. And if I can get those two things together, woo-ha, right? You know, ass is good. And if you get evil people, evil is good. And you get an evil piece of ass, woo! So I just think it's once again, I say it all the time. It's not about what we're doing, it's how we're doing it. Shout out to everybody out there right now that is saying I'm looking into some higher frequency thinking. No pun intended. Real, I'm not trying to take his shit.
Hey man, go ahead.
But I just think right now we need to be looking forward and looking up, you know, instead of down and back. And so I feel like sometimes, and I get a lot of people are so desperate, and they're living in such situations that it's like, man, how am I supposed to focus on that? I'm just trying to handle this. Well, if you start focusing on some of that stuff, this will be easier to handle, right? Because if your knowledge increases, it's gonna help your execution. That's the way it goes. So I just want people. I'm no longer. I'm not gonna be a slave for any brand or any corporation. I have some brands that I like. I have some things. I'm just a GM man, and my father was a GM man, and we just GM, Chevy, Ford, Oldsmobile, Cadillac forever. And I bought a Dodge, and I've had so many people in my face, what the fuck you doing driving that goddamn Dodge? Like, but what has GM ever fucking done for us, right? Like, no more than Dodge has. I bought what I wanted. I'm not saying, well, I will get this, but I'm a GM man. I still ain't to the point where I'll drive a Ford yet, but that's another show. That's a different show. But I'm just saying we're too loyal to things that aren't loyal to us. Let's get back to being loyal to us. You know, when we say power to the people, and we've forgotten what that actually means. That means we should be empowering the people, and the people are us, right? She said I should do a Flower Child show one day. Is that black enough? We've done this. We've done the whole black thing a couple different times. A long time ago, I did a show called Real Niggas with a question mark. What's a real nigga? What is a real nigga? Dude is a real nigga, right? Like, if you say, I hear people say that all the time, I'm a real one. What does that mean? Like, oh, I'm willing to go to penitentiary if you step on my shoe because I'm a real nigga. Or are we saying you are a real nigger? You get what I'm saying? Is you a real nigga as in true, or you're really the definition of what a nigger is? I've never been able to quite figure out what cats mean when they say that. Like, man, we all some real niggas over here. What does that mean? I don't know. We've had so many people on the show to come on and tell us, but at the end of the day, nobody really ever was able to capture it and say, well, I can tell you exactly what a real nigga is, right? It was all kind of like, well, you know, if you will fight and if you won't snitch, you a real nigga. Really?
Oh, shit.
You just seen 3 people get murdered in cold blood who were innocent, but you won't tell who did it. That makes you a real nigga. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If I can find a way to make some money in my neighborhood even if it destroys families and destroys the community, and I go out and get that money, they say, shit, he went and got that bread. He's a real nigga, right? We idolize dope dealers. We idolize them. How many specials do we have right now? Movies, BMF, Power. It's all about dope dealers. It's all about drugs. It's all about kingpins. We done went back to the 80s and made heroes out of crack dealers. Now I would say, do you actually understand what crack done to our community? Why do we idolize these people? I just think his story interesting. Right. Okay. Right. That's way more interesting in building or talking about elevation or understanding or, how to be better fathers or how to be better mothers or, because I would rather watch BMF. I just don't get it. Shout out to you if you watch it. Everybody has their shows. I watch Snowfall. Which the season finale is on. I mean, the series finale is on tonight. So don't spoil it for me if you've seen it. But
stay on Facebook, nigga.
Right. This is my take on what blackness is, man. I just like to always say I like to put paint where it ain't. When somebody asks me what my blackness means to me, I can define it. I can say it. Because I can say, man, I can listen to old Motown music. I can listen to old James Brown. I can listen to Al Green. I can listen to Isaac Hayes. And I can feel the blackness in it. I can feel the energy of it. And so if you're going to play some watered down pop song right now, to me, I'm going to say, turn that shit off and put on some real black people music where it resonates when I can hear it book wise, even movies. I'm watching a movie full of watered down, diluted black men in a movie. I'm not going to watch the shit. Now, maybe that's why people say that's why I watch BMF, motherfucker, because I don't want to see no watered down ass niggas. But it is what it is, as long as you can identify it. Kamar, what you got coming up this weekend, man?
All right. Tomorrow I'll be at Daddy's Barbecue over there on 27th. Tomorrow from 4 to 8 or 4 to 9 with the Black Chamber of Commerce. They're also doing a pitch contest. So if you got a black business, you need some extra money. You know what I mean? You got a plan for your business. I mean, you got a vision on where you want to go with it. Come on down here and shoot your shot, man, and get you a chance to win some of this money. The first place prize is $10,000. The second place prize is $7,000. The third place prize is $3,000. I'm a winner of the $3,000, y'all. That's the check right there behind me. This shit is real. Come down there and get y'all money, man. I ain't bullshitting.
Okay. Real, I know you rocking out because I'm, Real got me on TikTok and Clubhouse, right? And so I don't know how to work. I got rid of Clubhouse.
Real got me on TikTok.
But so I get a notification every time Rail posts a video. And I'm like, this brother don't miss. He be at work. Like, hold on, 5-minute break. Post. Rail, you're busy on TikTok. And it's they trying to take it away, man. But so I guess that's a different topic for a different show. But what you got popping this weekend?
Oh man, actually, I was invited to guest on a podcast, speaking on relationship and shit like that this Saturday on the podcast. I have been able to get up with people and go over their gardening areas with them, so that's been fly too. And we take for granted the knowledge we get, not realizing that may be knowledge somebody else could use. So it's been fly as hell to kind of just give my insight on gardening as the season approach. So I do plan on doing more of that as well.
Okay. I gotta I want this weather to come because I said it. I got some RC stuff I gotta do this summer. I have to do it. So I'm gonna get with you because I got stuff that I need to run, man. And my son and I were just talking about this. I'm like, man, last summer was taken from me because I was dealing with my recovery, but I got to get some of this stuff out here. So I'm gonna hook up with you. Because I used to the old Morris was my spot. Yeah. And then now it's the Hmong American Academy, the Peace Academy, and they just straight took my joint. So I don't have a spot no more. Like it's like
shit, they just closed Walmart, so we got that whole parking lot we can club in.
Okay.
We can even
Okay.
pull out the spray paint, and make a track, and do tournaments or some shit.
Okay. I was thinking that sooner or later they was gonna probably block Walmart off, right? Like so, but in the daytime especially, I don't know though, because a lot of times police will pull up on you and be like, "What y'all doing?" Oh, okay, they just on that, like
Right.
But we'll coordinate,
We
man.
got a couple spots, man.
I gotta get some because I've been invited by some of the brothers in the hobby shop to come over on the south side and rock with them too. But we'll get together. Because like I said, I got stuff that some of it's not ever been driven, some of it's only been driven once,
Okay,
brand new, like just sitting
Yeah.
here. So I'm gonna get with you. Plus, I got a summer project in mind, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, for
I
sure.
hope y'all both understood where I was going with the black enough, because I just feel like everybody wants to tell you what black is supposed to be, right? Like, and it's a spectrum from the stuck up Harvard brother all the way down to the militant Hebrew Israelite with the big wristbands on his people tell you, where you
They be
actually
angry
from.
as hell, man, for no reason. Like, why do I want to be in that religion if it's gonna make me angry as fuck?
Well, most relationships, the people who believe the hardest end up being angry. Even if it's passive aggressive anger, in which they say, you know what, I'm not going to even talk to you no more.
Yeah.
Okay, why? Okay, so Mama Jenkins said the Bucks is kicking butt. They better, after the ass whooping they got the other night. They better go ahead and sweep these boys up out of here. But yeah, man, I just want us to think about, man, because I still think blackness is very important. And I still think the principles of being black, understanding our culture, understanding, our music, understanding our train of thought, our state of mind, our situations, our state of being, steady trying to come up with things that benefit us as a people. I still believe in that. I was told a long time ago by a lady who heard one of the shows, and she said, I really do like your show. I like the way you host the show, but you will get nowhere talking all that pro-black shit. Don't nobody want to hear that. She said, don't you notice you ain't gonna do no numbers with that? You gotta let that black power shit go. And I said, I'm good. I'm gonna do what I do. I don't know how to tap dance, right? And so a lot of the stuff that I could talk about weekly on this show in regards to pop culture and celebrity news, I don't, because I just feel like it's so much more important shit to talk about. And like you said, if it's a happy meal or a half a meal, I'm good, right? I appreciate. That's why I love the Outlaw Radio audience. I love the support that we get. I love the fact that people check for us and they support what we do, because I watch other platforms and I even see some people who've been over here on the show and whatnot over on, I get it. New thing in town. I get it. Like I said, it's been 9 years we've been rolling. But they'll be back. I got pissed off one night. I thought I was gonna have to call Kamar for one of them sessions because I was so mad. And then I said, you know what? Why, but why trip? They'll be back. It is what it is. It goes in a circle, man. So don't get your panties in a bunch. Pause. But yeah, man, being black is a great thing. Living in a city that's 40% black is a great thing to me. The potential is endless. Imagine what we could actually accomplish if we put the bullshit aside and get on one accord. I know some brothers over here having a group discussion and they having an event over here and we're having an event over here, but you got to understand some of this shit is just an event. You're not going to get anything from it. Some of it is a happening. You're going to get something from it, right? And there's a difference between the two. So, and that's not to knock nobody's podcast. It ain't their fault that they ain't as good as we are, or that they show ain't as good as Outlaw Radio. Those who can, and those who can't become school teachers, I guess. But just love yourself, man, and appreciate that being a black person is a gift. It's not a curse, because you come with some ability.
Love yourself.
Yeah, it's some things about us that nobody else can replicate. What'd you say?
Nothing.
I didn't say. Did I say love on yourself or love yourself? Because I know that was Kamar's thing.
You did say love yourself. You said love yourself. And hey, listen, man. And I was saying, that's a long way right there, man. Hey, that's growth.
Yeah. I mean, listen. If you want to love, own yourself. That's cool too, right? Like, you know, as long as you ain't hurt nobody, do what you do and clean up after yourself. That's all we say.
Dang, that's what I saying.
Hey, man, do your thing,
your
right? That's what
thing.
he say.
Whatever you want to do.
Right. Do your thing, man. So yeah, man, we'll be back Monday, man. I'm trying to get to, I know we got brother Ajamu. We were supposed to have MC Tone tonight. He said Wednesday was a bad night for him. So I'm gonna bring him in. We got Ajamu coming in with Heal the Hood. I'm trying to get some other people on. I've been Instagram fishing again, trying to get some of my my heroes, some of my rap heroes, but it's hard because I guess they feel like, you know, I'm currently trying to school myself on YouTube, right? Because I'm so shitty with YouTube. Like, it's just my investment in it ain't even, it's paltry. And that's why it looks the way it looks. So I gotta pick that up. And I think more people will be inclined to come in once we're doing better on YouTube. But that's just, it's all about the process, man. It's all about the process. I just want you to keep going, man, no matter what. You know, we always talking about influencers and gatekeepers and all these kinds of things, man. And I think the mistake that most people make when they want you to follow or listen to them is they try to tell you what you should think, as opposed to just telling you to think. And that's all we do on Outlaw Radio. Nobody really cares about what your opinion is. We just want you to have one. And once you have one, and sometimes when you say your opinion out loud, you think to yourself, that's some dumb shit. I need to go do some research on this. So it's self-straightening, man. Either way it goes, it's very positive and it's very progressive. And I do understand that we live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we lead the nation in some of the most negative aspects that you could possibly find. But I also think some of that is kind of things that they implement. I feel like they throw that out here to make you feel a certain kind of way about yourself and where you're at and to doubt yourself. I feel like those are implants. So you got to be aware of what is and what's not, because a lot of times when you working hard, trying to be the best person that you can be and trying to do for people and trying to inform people, your contribution to the neighborhood is way greater than your criticism of it. And so if you are in a situation where your criticism is greater than your contribution, you probably need to get on the phone with somebody who you really trust, who you really love, who you can really confide in and say, I just realized I'm a coon. I'll see y'all Monday night, man. Peace and love. Red was like, how you gonna pull this one off? I got you, homie. I got you.